Today, it's country music night at the ballpark as well on the Michigan Schools and Government soundstage here today. We'll see a band throughout the game, so that's always a fun addition to game action here today. It's the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, the home squad, and the visiting Westside Woolly Mammoths here today. Jeremy out alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call. These two teams matched up on Thursday in the first non-public game of the year, and if you're not familiar with that, that's something that they've done certainly in the past. They did it a little bit in the last couple of years, but they're going to do it a little bit more consistently this year to get guys more at-bats and just get the pitchers a few more reps here or there. In that game, though, it was a 6-3 victory for the Mammoths overall. The first inning kind of a struggle for the Hoppers, which was the case on opening day as well, looking to have a little bit of a sharper start.
Yeah, pitching has been probably not quite what we would have expected at the start of the year. We saw last night quite a few walks between the Unicorns and the Beavers. As you mentioned, opening day struggles with the Hoppers, a little bit for the Unicorns as well with Rasmussen. But that's an opportunity to turn it around today.
And certainly I think we saw guys swing just more, whatever that means, if it means anything. We commented how much the ball deadened, which is not the case usually here. It kind of flies pretty good when the wind is going. There was no wind yesterday, kind of a dual damp air, a cool damp air throughout the middle to late end of that game. So it was interesting to see how that was. It'll be interesting to see what today is as well.
Yeah, I guess it's clear that if there's not really a lot of wind, it's not exactly a hitter's ballpark, because it was just bloop singles left and right over the heads of the infielders, some pop-ups that died in the gaps, and players were able to get on base, but there wasn't a lot of hard hit balls. There weren't any home runs. There wasn't really very many hit to the warning track. So we'll see if the wind plays a factor today. Not exactly windy now. I don't think it's scheduled to be windy throughout the night, but if that's the case, some of these hitters are going to have trouble getting on base and putting balls deep in the outfield.
Time to take a peek at your pitcher comparison here today. All is brought to you by Ascension. Two really good ones, two probably aces on their respective teams. Banks is kind of in that conversation as well for the Hoppers, but it's for Brugge here for the Hoppers today and Lokinen for the Mammoths.
Yeah, Greg Lokinen, a guy that I'm very excited to see. Pitcher of the year last year in the league, a guy who, when I spoke with him preseason, said he had expectations for himself to not dip below 90, 91 with that fastball. He's really struggled lately with velocity. He spoke to you and I yesterday off air and says, I basically apologized for his performance on Saturday and said, I'm going to be better today. I'm excited to see how he does, see if he can turn up that velocity a little bit. He still has good control, really good location, seems calm out there on the mound. Just has to put a little bit more juice behind it. And Andrew Verbrugge, as you mentioned, a guy who's kind of competing for that ace spot with Pierce Banks, and that's not a bad competition to have if you're the managers for the Hoppers. Those two guys that are certainly well equipped to be the ace for this team, and we'll see how Verbrugge can do in his first start tonight.
Well, without further ado, let's check out the rest of your starting lineups here today. First, for the visiting Westside Woolly Mammoths, it's Nick Caruso leading things off and catching. Tanner Thomas was the leadoff batter on opening day, or the second game of the season for the Mammoths. He'll bat second and play left today. Trent Bauer in the 3-hole, he'll DH. Greg Vaughn Jr., Houston Parker, and Wade Weinberger will bat right in the middle in right field, third base, and center field respectively there. Gunnar Rainey plays second base and bats seventh. Buddy Dwayne is the eighth place hitter as he plays first, and Keyshawn Lynch will round things out and play shortstop as they face Verbrugge to start today's game. On the other side, for the home Eastside Diamond Hoppers today, Juan Lopez Rios has led off in every game thus far. Not a surprise, that was his main role last year as well. He'll play second base. Alex Pup bats second and plays short. Blake Porter, who's shown some nice at-bats so far, plays center field and bats third. The powerful Joe Burke right behind him, he plays first. Sean Lawler into the starting lineup here today for the first time in the public as the designated hitter here today. Drew Bayard will bat sixth and play left. Griffin Schneider bats seventh, as in the right fielder today, Luker gets to start behind the dish and bats eighth. Walker Paz will round out the order and play third base here today. He's a guy that can also play some middle infield as they face Lukinen. Well, Lukinen's a lefty, and so are a lot of the batters here today.
Yeah, I mean, the Hoppers have four left-handed batters in the lineup today. That's usually going to be a big advantage, but they're going against a lefty pitcher and a lefty former pitcher of the year in the USBBL. So we'll see how much trouble they have with Lokinen today. I mean, I think that's a tough guy to go against even if you're a righty, and especially with his angle kind of and the way he comes into the plate as a lefty, it's going to be difficult for some of those lefty hitters. Now, the advantage for the Hoppers is that their lefty hitters go 3, 5, 6. So they've got some of the bulk of that order as their best bats are those lefties. So they still might be able to handle Lokinen and what he can do on the bump pretty well.
And it's interesting as well. And if you're wondering why so many lefties against the lefty arm, in the USPBL, at least where roster sizes are right now, the focus definitely in most leagues is on pitching, obviously. You want to have as much pitching as possible to get through a season. But only 2 to 3 bench guys, so you can't really go lefty-righty a lot in terms of bringing guys off the bench. Once in a while, late in the game, you can do that if you have the right matchup. But so that's what goes into that as well. Another guy that we wanted to mention that will pitch here today looked really good on opening day, and we're happy to see that. He's got a lot of talent behind him, a really nice fastball, is Carson Ferry. He brought both the good fastball and the curveball the other day on opening day, a guy we'll probably see for 2 to 3 innings today.
Yeah, it's expected that we're going to see Carson Ferry, a guy that you and I were both really impressed with on opening day. Had 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, but looked really in control when he was up there, just commanded that lineup that he faced. Didn't throw below 90 with the fastball. If he can keep that velocity up, add some movement to that curve. He has a changeup too. He only threw it twice last year. We're going to see today with a little bit more of a longer leash like we talked about last night with some other pitchers. If he can go 2, 3, maybe 4 innings, that's unlikely, but 3 is probably his max. If he can get to 3 innings, we might see the changeup a little bit. I'm interested to see how that has developed, what kind of movement and speed that has, but to not go below 90 with the fastball and really command that inning that he had on opening day is pretty impressive.
Well, there's a college connection between Ryan Kotke and Taylor Jelekowski, the two managers on either of these two sides. We'll get to that on the flip side. It's the Mammoths and the Hoppers coming up shortly here on the USPBL Network on Country Music Night. Don't go anywhere.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, everyone. Jeremy Idle alongside Brendan Shabat to bring you the call here today on Country Music Night. What a perfect night for baseball here today. And baseball on the USPBL Network is presented by our credit union. And sponsored by the following: Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, Valpak, and UWM. We thank all those fine partners for what they do for this league and for the game here tonight. Well, we talked about Ryan Kotke and Taylor Jelekowski kind of having a connection right at the end of the pregame show. So Ryan Kotke was the head coach at Marygrove College since the start of the program. Didn't last too long because the college unfortunately closed, but he faced Taylor Jelekowski as a player. He managed against him, obviously, but so that's a little bit of a connection there. And Justin Karn, the now head coach at Madonna, is Taylor Jelekowski's boss at Madonna, but it's kind of vice versa here. Karn is the assistant. This is his first game on the public side that he has been here. He had actually had the birth of his second child recently, and his wife made the College World Series as well, at least the first round of it for Oakland University as well. So he's been a busy father and a busy husband as well lately, but nice to catch up with him before the game here today and look forward to picking his brain throughout the season as well. What else are you looking for here today, Brendan?
I'm looking for some of these pitchers to show us what they're really made of today. We talked a little bit with Paul Noce about the practice that they have been going through, and they haven't gotten outdoors as much, which he says might be a little bit of a factor in some of the less than superb pitching performances that we have seen. Greg Lokinen, a guy we talked about in the pregame, who I'm very excited to see today. He seems like he's focused a lot lately on improving off that first start on the opening night for the Mammoths and the Beavers last Saturday. Interested to see where his velocity goes. And Andrew Verbrugge is a guy who we talked about competing for that ace role. They both have long leashes today, 75-plus pitches or so, should get to 4 or 5 innings for each. And I kind of want to see some offense, too. We've lacked a little bit of offense lately. We talked about yesterday the weather having an effect on some of the baseballs, maybe a lot of bloop singles, a lot of base runners, but not a lot of RBIs. Hopefully we see some power hitting today. I think we certainly have that ability in these two lineups. Should be a fun day.
And we kind of had it confirmed by multiple people as well. Yes, the ball was dead. You see things up here, and you're just like, are your eyes lying to you at times? But the ball in the air yesterday just didn't work together. So that's something that we saw certainly in batting practice today. Even though the wind wasn't going, we definitely saw some deep flies to the outfield like normal. And even thinking about batting practice yesterday, I guess it didn't last that long because the rain cut it off. So I guess it wasn't a full representation. But I feel like it still flew a little bit better than what we saw in the game. But the temperature certainly shifted as well as the game went on after that 40 or so minute delay. Getting ready for baseball here at Jimmy John's Field. It's the Hoppers and the Westside Woolly Mammoths coming up after this.
While credit cards help pay for everyday expenses, carrying a balance each month can be tough on your budget. Since interest rates compound daily, the amount you owe gets bigger and bigger each day the balance goes unpaid. A Green Path debt management program helps you regain control of your finances by lowering credit card interest rates, reducing your monthly payments, stopping late fees, improving overall financial health, paying off credit card debt in 5 years or less. Our caring certified counselors work with you to understand your financial picture and support you on the steps to get control of high-interest debt and achieve financial health. Call 844-572-5921 and get control of high-interest credit card debt today.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Jeremy and Brendan back with you here from Jimmy John's Field. So glad you could tune in on your Saturday. The second of 4 on the USPBL network this week. One more tomorrow at 1:05, and then a rare Monday game on Memorial Day at 1:05 as well. You can get yourself a free Memorial Day hat to the first 500 fans in attendance. So get your tickets at USPBL. Pregame.com today. Andrew Verbrugge taking the hill for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers here tonight. He's presented by Ascension along with all the pitchers here today. 2-seam fastball, a 4-seam fastball, a curveball, a changeup, and a slider used infrequently at this point. Still working on it is Andrew, but that curveball looked good at times in his first appearance.
Yeah, he really pitched well in his first appearance, and I'm excited to see what he can do today against a very formidable Mammoths lineup, too. This is a good squad to go against to really test your abilities, and we'll see how we can do.
Let's check the defense behind Verbrugge today, brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services. It's Bayard in left. He had a really nice catch to rob a extra base hit into the wall in left field on opening day. Porter in center, Snyder in right. It's Paz and Burke on the corners today. Lopez, Rios, and Pup up the middle with Michael Luker getting his first start behind the dish. Something that Ryan Kontke talked about was how his defense has struggled early in games. He really wants his team to just settle in and realize, hey, look, this level is definitely based on performance. And if you don't perform, unfortunately, you're likely not going to last a long time. But he also wants to realize that, look, you're here now. I mean, you've made the tryout process if you went through that, or you've made the spring training process, you've made a roster, settle down a little bit. And probably easier said than done for us and for maybe even Ryan to say at this point. He pitched he played in pro ball too, so he knows what it's all about, being cut and moving on and moving from place to place. But something that I think he just wants his team to settle a bit down here today, and that's a good message, I think, for his team.
And I think that pretty easily plays and kind of describes the defense's early game struggles, as a lot of these guys haven't played in front of this many people before, haven't maybe played that position a whole lot or with the guys around them, the other defenders of the 9, and that can play a factor too. You see a ball coming to you, one of the first things that goes through your mind is, oh God, don't mess this up, But it's something that you really need to settle down and just take in.
First pitch at 7:07, rifle to right, sending Snyder back to the edge of the top of the warning track there for the first out. Caruso has swung it well. Now 4 for 10 to begin the year, and that's a good start for Verbrugge as well. We talked briefly in the pregame about him hanging the curveball just a little bit. It got better and better as his short outing went on. Unfortunately, he hung it to the wrong hitter at the wrong time and hit a 3-run shot to left. That was Noah Childress on opening day last Friday, but definitely some positive. The velocity looked good, anywhere from 89 to 91, topped out at 93, which is very good as well, and could be a big way for him to potentially move on, as that's off the end of the bat at Thomas.
90 on that one, on that fastball there. And Verbrugge, too, has 5 pitches in his repertoire, both fastballs, curve change, the slider you talked about that he doesn't use too much, but having that many pitches can definitely throw these hitters off balance.
Changeup outside, 1-2 on Tanner Thomas now. Chop to Lopez Rios, who not a great bounce, but he recovers well for the second out here in the first.
Next up for the Mammoths, the designated hitter number 16, Trent.
Trent Bauer, the designated hitter here today. Dips in the curveball for strike 1. .91-mile-an-hour fastball down low. Bauer fouls it off, 1-2. 2 for 6 start for Trent. Does have 3 walks to no strikeouts. So good start.
Bauer hitting in this third spot. Not a lot of power last year here in the USPBL. Just 1 home run, 11 RBIs. Had an average above 300, got on base quite a bit, 781 OPS as well. It's something he's been working on, trying to increase that power, smooth out that swing, and let that ball fly.
89-mile-an-hour fastball high and away. 3-2 on Bauer now. Craig Vaughn Jr. and Houston Parker will be next in the heart of this order for Taylor Jellikowski. Now the 3-2. Shot up the middle. Turned around the 89-mile-an-hour fastball and hit it 92 right back at him.
Fastball with a little bit of life, too, and Bauer sat on it, waited for it, got that count to full at 3-2. Found it in his spot up in the zone, comfortable spot there, sends it back up the middle. Good job.
So here's Greg Vaughn Jr., the right fielder. He did not play in the non-public game between these two teams on Thursday. Those are at times an opportunity to get a few guys some work, maybe start a primary reliever in a starting role on the pitching side.
Well, the unfortunate reality of baseball scouting, too, is some guys are only going to be able to look at the numbers that guys put up and not actually get to see them in person. And that's part of the non-public games, is more reps for these guys so they can increase those numbers.
Short lead there for Bauer, the 2-0. Slices in for strike one. Verbrugge liked the way his season went last year. Just kind of that learning curve was going against those same guys over and over again, obviously in a 4-team lead, which can be challenging at times, and playing in the same ballpark, so the conditions are optimal at times for both the pitcher and the hitter. They know the tendencies, and so does the hitter as well.
And the good thing for Verbrugge, too, he had a high walk rate last year, 6.2 walks per 9 in the USPBL. Has not walked a batter yet this season. Only 3 2/3 innings total so far, but still, that's pretty good improvement to go from 6 per 9 to none so far.
It was a good-looking curveball, just couldn't nip the strike zone on the inner half. Now the 3-2, low and in. Fastball at 89, and after he retired the first two batters, the last two have reached.
Jeremy, on opening day, I told you something about the announcer jinx, and that it follows me everywhere.
It's all of us.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Andrew. I gave you that walk. That was destined to happen after what I said.
Here's Houston Parker. He's driven in 3 runs this year. First pitch outside, 1-0. Completely different day here today. Rain in the forecast really all of yesterday. 71 degrees here at game time. It'll cool down to around 67 by the time the night is over. And then the heat comes back. 81 tomorrow, 90 on Monday, 92 on Tuesday.
Well, Memorial Day is usually the kickoff of summer. That's one thing we talked about. When does summer start in your brain? For a lot of people, it's Memorial Day, and with summer comes warm weather.
2-0 whittled on the ground. This could be trouble. Paz coming in, bare hands, throws. What a dime. Wow. Paz attacked it right away and threw it across the diamond, showcasing why he's one of the better infielders in this league. Verbrugge does a nice job to strand the 2 base runners after the first 2 were retired here in the first inning, and we are still scoreless. Now time for your thrifty florist sweetheart of the game here today. JJ presenting flowers over on the edge of the grandstands to Leah there. JJ was hanging out in the press box before the game, just kind of cooling off.
He loves that spot, and I'm glad he loves it too, because I love to see JJ and give him some good boy pets like he is every time that we're in and out of the press box.
You know, I get the feeling sometimes that he just wants to be away from people sometimes. He has to socialize all the time.
Very busy during the game, yeah.
So that's kind of the feeling sometimes. Here's your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Facts. How about this one? The human nose can remember – oh, no. Went off early on the board. I'm not sure if we have the graphics here today. Oh, we do. The human nose can remember 50,000 different scents. Interesting.
I have trouble believing that one. 50,000?
Maybe if you don't have allergies. A quarter of the bones in your body are in your feet. There you go.
The marsupials.
And the Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. Did you know that?
I did not.
Our UD education didn't teach us that.
Didn't do us right. I didn't pay attention in art class anyways, so.
That's your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Facts here today as you get a nice look at Greg Lokinen. He's also presented by Ascension here today. Lokinen carrying that 4-seam, 2-seam changeup and curveball into action today. Talked about it in the pregame a little bit. Wasn't extremely happy, and it was just kind of a passerby conversation for both of us yesterday with his first outing. And just talking with some of the coaches, probably due to the fact that his velo was a bit down, but hoping to get that up here today. A guy that certainly touched 91, was a consistent 89, 90 out of the pen last year.
Lokinen is getting used to the starter role, too, when we talked with Taylor Jellikowski about his transition from last year to this year and maybe why that velocity has dipped. When he first came to the USPBL, Jellikowski had him as a reliever, and then a couple guys got signed, changed leagues, and he moved Lokinen up to a starter, and the velocity just kind of decreased a little bit from there on, and now he's in a new position. He'll have a full season likely here with the USPBL as the starter and ace likely on the Mammoths, so it's an opportunity. We're early in his starter's career, and he still has a chance to certainly get that velocity back up.
Juan Lopez-Rios going to whittle that one off at the plate. Let's check the defense behind Greg today. Brought to you by Three Dimensional Services. It's Thomas in left, Weinberger in center, Vaughn Jr. is in right. Dwayne at first, Parker at third, Rainey and Lynch, your double play combination up the middle with Caruso behind the dish today. Ooh, way out in front of the curveball there.
Nick Caruso, the obviously now teammate of Greg Lokinen. It seems like they have a good connection between the pitcher and the catcher, too. Former enemies and rivals in the Catholic League. Nick Caruso, a De La Salle pilot graduate, and Lokinen, as we've talked about so far this season, a Orchard Lake St. Mary's Eagle.
Now the 0-2, swing and a miss, carved him up. Lopez-Rios goes down. First K for Lokinen here today. Looked like another changeup. Two really good changeups in that at-bat to Lopez-Rios.
Yeah, they looked nice. They really caught Lopez-Rios off guard, and that's the point of the off-speed.
Encourage you to chime in on the chat sections of Facebook and YouTube all night long. See, there's a number that already have. Here's the first pitch to Alex Pup. As the fastball in straight at 86. Ken says, let's go Mammoths. Ben Kosmowski says hello from K-Pac. Eileen says hello from St. Clair Shores. Bill says, I'm literally 3 miles from the stadium and should be there instead of at home.
Come on down, Bill. We got a ticket for you.
Ben says it's already 66 already in K-Pac. Yeah, right by the lake, I guess. Trish says, go Hoppers. Alexandra says, go Mammoths. New fan here for Christian and Tanner. Well, we welcome you to the USPBL Network. 0-2, popped him up. The rare pitcher will take this one. He says, I got it, guys. Drops it on the transfer, they say. Even though Pup made it to first base.
P1. Not going to write that down in the scorebook a whole lot.
Especially now.
Yeah.
You have pitchers calling for it, and half the time the middle infielders were saying, no, I got it.
Yeah.
This one popped up, got under it. Vaughn Jr. drifting in. That's an easy inning for Lokinen. He's going to like the way he looked here in the first. 1, 2, 3. Both pitchers shut out these two lineups early on here today.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward, not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Jeremy Otto and Brendan Shabath back with you here at the ballpark. So glad you could tune in on your Saturday. Little pre-Memorial Day action. Have any big plans?
Being here. Be here on
That's
Monday.
true.
Be here tomorrow.
No barbecue after, though, or anything? You get 2 day games.
That's a possibility. That's a possibility. My Aunt Jackie lives just down the street from here. I might just invite myself over there for barbecue and a beverage.
You bring the food, you know. Be polite about it now.
Of course, I'll bring something. I'll bring her a USPBL baseball.
6, 7, 8. Due up for the Mammoths here in the second. It's Wade Weinberger, Gunnar Rainey, and Buddy Dwayne. Bauer and Vaughn Jr. both reached on Verbugge with the first 2 outs recorded in the first as he snaps off a first pitch curveball. Boy, does that keep you guessing.
Not going to see a first pitch curve too often.
Now the 1-0. Fastball zinged in there at 90. We were kind of talking about this off air before the game here today. If he can hit consistently 89, 90, or more so 90, 91, and then snap off that curveball 74, 76, right where it was last game, that's a pretty darn good differential.
Especially with the way that curveball comes out of the hand. A lot of hitters can be deceived. Sometimes it looks like a fastball, maybe a different off-speed pitch, and then it just dies slowly right into that strike zone.
Overthrew, it was probably the changeup just from how it registered on the board. Here's the 2-2 to Weinberger. In on the hands at 91 and fouled off. But certainly encouraging to see him hit that 90, 91 fairly consistently here in the first 2 innings. Curveball. Just kind of went around the plate that time. 3-2 on Wade.
He might have been trying to kind of backdoor that one on the outside edge. Just left it a little too far out there.
3-2 in on the hands again and fouled off. Person on the right you see in that shot is Mitch Aker, the new pitching coordinator here at the USPBL. Paul Nochi was sitting behind the plate as well as former manager, now field coordinator, which is now the spot pretty much of Willie Martin. Congratulations to Willie. Never really said it on air, but he's now in Peoria. High A for the Cardinals as their hitting coordinator. Did some games on the air with me last year. 3-2, just missed. Boy, a couple pitches right there, and you could see Verbrugge wanted that one.
That one was close, but that's a really good at-bat by Weinberger, and he earned that walk down to first base, fouled a few off, couple in on the hands, had some good vision at the plate. It's a little close one to take for ball 4 with a full count, but he gets rewarded.
Looked a bit low as we take a peek on the replay. Decent job by Luker to try to pull it back in. First pitch fastball outside, so that's the second walk for Verbrugge today. Walked for a bit of an issue in his first appearance. That was out of the bullpen. But he's going to be a primary starter for this team, as he was for a majority of his time last year. Watch out for Weinberger on the bases. He's definitely got some speed. Hitting a bit lower in the lineup here today than on opening day. He hit third, hitting sixth here today. Shaking it up with Caruso at the top. 2-0, fastball outside. 3-0 now on Gunnar Rainey. It's definitely cooled down. The clouds have come over Jimmy John's Field. I don't think they're necessarily rain clouds, but
that would be torturous if they were rain clouds, huh? Here we are expecting to finally get a good day.
Good pickup by Luker as he didn't let that one skip to the backstop, and now that's back-to-back walks all of a sudden for Berbrugge. You wonder if that got in his head a little bit on the calls he did not get.
And that's 3 of the last 4 batters, too.
There's a look at the sky. And I feel like this is the way it's been. It's always so sunny and BP and calm.
I thought I was going to need to put on sunscreen in BP for a second.
The back of the neck, yeah, especially that time of the day.
Nice and hot.
First pitch to Buddy DeWine. Fastball in at 87 for strike one.
Dangerous hitter up here with 2 runners on, nobody out. Guy who we've seen mash a few balls in batting practice. If he gets the right pitch, he can certainly do damage.
Pickoff move to third, and sliding safely is Weinberger. So kind of a surprise for everyone involved there. Another stolen base brought to you by Huntington Bank this year, but that's what Weinberger can do. You don't watch him too closely. He's going to steal that bag with ease.
Well, that's great, too, because now he's in position that he can score on a sac fly.
There's the curveball for strike 3, his first K today.
But yeah, now with 1 out, Weinberger can still score on a sac fly, on maybe a close single that would be tough to score from second. He can guaranteed score from third. And with this guy at the plate, too, Keyshawn Lynch, that is certainly in the cards.
One fouled out on the first base line there. Keyshawn Lynch, the bottom of this lineup for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. We saw him bomb some balls in BP here today.
Well, he's not a bad guy to have in the bottom of the lineup. He's played in the Pioneer League, the Northwoods League, the Midwest League. He's played ball at some good places. And he's a guy who just has a baseball swing. It looks like a major league swing out there. It looks natural. It looks compact. He gets a lot of pop off that bat. Not a guy who you would think by his frame would have a whole lot of power. And hasn't shown a ton of power either.
0-2 curveball. Jack that one to left center. It's going to hang up there, though. Bayard coming in. Lopez Rios out. Can't make the catch. Weinberger coming home to score. To third goes Gunnar Rainey. And Keyshawn Lynch sneaks up to second base as well. So the stolen bases looming large here in the second inning. It's 1-0 Mammoths.
Well, that can be the advantage, like we talked about. When you get out there and steal those bases, you put yourself in a much better position to score. I don't think Weinberger scores at all from second on that play because Rainey was at second. He wasn't able to score. Weinberger doesn't score on that play if he's at second. Now it's a big run for the Mammoths due to what a manufactured run by the offense.
First pitch to Caruso on the ground to Paz. Fields it well, throws it high and threw it away. Rainey around to score. Lynch speeding around third, and that skips into the dugout, so they will send them back, and they will actually allow Keyshawn Lynch to score. It wasn't exactly clear what they were signaling at first, but I thought that would be the case, as it skipped into the dugout deep down the first base line, and all of a sudden 3-0 Mammoths.
Yeah, I think Keyshawn Lynch was going to score either way, so it's only right that they award him home plate there in the third run of the game.
Nick Caruso reaches, stands on second base, and here comes Tanner Thomas. He grounded out to the second baseman Lopez Rios his first time. Swings through the fastball here, and that's exactly kind of what Ryan Kotke was talking about earlier before the game, just settling down defensively, made some shifts in the infield in terms of moving guys around, hoping that that wouldn't be the case early on in the ball game today. That one roped to center, Porter back, and right on the edge of the warning track for that one. Hoses to third, but Paz going to cut it off in front of the bag there.
Good tag there by Nick Caruso, who's already in scoring position, now 90 feet closer. Clear that the Mammoths smart base running today, and that's something that they've clearly been focusing on, putting themselves in place to score.
Trent Bauer all of a sudden the 7th man to the plate here in the second inning with 2 outs. As that fastball at 89 is lifted in for strike 1. Ken on YouTube says, hello from Clinton Township. 40-game season ticket member, had tickets to tonight's game, but totally exhausted after completing household chores, and will be there on Sunday and Monday. Well, come say hi. Here's the 0-1 in for strike 2. I hear you there. Been a lot of gardening for me lately.
Same.
Trying to get it in outside before it gets too hot.
Same for my dad back home. We just chopped a tree down in our backyard the other day and trying to make sure the lawn and everything looks nice. My mom's been out there planting the flowers.
0-2 fly ball to left center. Porter calling for it. He will make the catch for the third out. Rough inning here in the second. A big error scores 2 more runs. And the first 2 base runners reach via the walk. They both score. Weinberger, Rainey, Lynch all touch home plate. 3-0 Mammoths.
We're for people. The pioneers. The underdogs. The players. And the slow and steadies. We're for people. For who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank. And some say our business is all about money. But that's an old idea. Because look past the money and you'll see real human lives. We see it because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Well, kind of an impromptu, as far as we know, moment in the break there. Johnny Grab, the public address announcer here at the USPBL, just announced that man right there, Pierce Banks, we just talked about through the other day, he's just been signed by the Minnesota Twins. Very cool.
46th USPBL player to be signed by a major league organization. He was expected to throw on Monday, and that's not going to be the case anymore.
Pretty cool moment here, and usually these aren't uncommon to honor players, on the field, but this is why I'm almost positive that it's literally maybe been finished in the middle of the game, or he was alerted that they wanted him or something, because normally it'd be a pregame thing, it'd be a middle of the inning thing, but it was very impromptu. You just saw Paul Noche go out there, John Dombrowski, Ryan Kotke, the 2 co-managers here. Very cool.
Yeah, it's great for Pierce, a guy who certainly deserves it, a guy we've talked about as a dude who can certainly be one of those guys to move up to the major league level and play for a major league organization, and sure enough, sooner rather than later, that's the case.
Now batting for the Hoppers, the first baseman number 15, Joe Burke. Joe was the beer batter of the game. If he gets a hit, Midland Brewing, New Bell
Joe Burke to lead off the inning. 4, 5, 6 here. Really nice 1, 2, 3 first for Greg Lokinen. Strikeout, pop out, fly out. Fastball in on the hands as Burke fouls it off.
We saw Verbrugge have a good first inning, then obviously struggled there in the second. Lokinen going to try to do the opposite here and keep up his success from inning 1.
Fly ball to center field. Weinberger is under that for the first out.
There goes JJ. He's such a good boy.
Lokinen went over and congratulated Pierce Banks, 2 Michigan natives, probably grew up playing ball together. A friendship has developed since they both have been in the U.S. PBL as well, and good to see that sportsmanship and that Lokinen was happy for Banks and was able to do that and go congratulate him live right here.
So I believe that's actually Weinberger in left, not center field, and Thomas in center. That's what we got on our lineup card here today, but I can guarantee that is not Weinberger in center. I know it is Weinberger in left. So we apologize for that, unless it was just a switch that just happened. Maybe another player is getting signed on the Mammoths here. 1-1 is shifted foul.
Going to be an Austin Jackson situation. They got a fielder come out in the middle of an inning.
That'd be pretty sweet. Last year, there's 4 players taken at the same moment by the Twins, not in game like that. All the 4 best pitchers in the league at that time for each team. 2-2 on Sean Lawler. DHing here today, still dealing with a bit of discomfort that followed him into the USPBL as Lokinen tries to crowd him inside. 3-2 now.
Yeah, he worked out in the outfield today before the game. I believe yesterday as well in practice for the Hoppers. So Ryan Kotke's confident that he can be back soon defensively out there in the outfield, maybe on the corner at first base for the Hoppers.
Lawler walks here. First batter to reach against Lokinen. Now sends up Drew Bayard, off to an 0-for-7 start, but has had some nice plays defensively for this Hoppers team. Outfield plays him deep. First pitch, in at the eyeballs at 85 as he backs off the plate.
In at the eyeballs, and Bayard just stared at it. He didn't even flinch, just watched that thing whiz by his nose.
He's going to dip the helmet down and stayed in there. Now a subtle breeze blowing out to left center, which is new really all today. The pennants show that best. The American flag is moving a little bit as well. 2-0 on Bayard. There you see it.
Not too often are they going to go that direction. That's good for the right-handed hitters, though.
It's a lefty stacked day, though. 2-0 right back at us. That nipped off the top of the screen, went off the top of the suite, and came down right in front of us as the fans ooh and ah and ducked.
we talked on opening day about it would have to be a pretty perfectly hit ball for it to get back up here, and that one almost was the case. Nipped the screen and kind of was just short of missing the suites and coming down in front of us.
2-1 on Bayard. Griffin Snyder on deck. That's 6 and 7 in the order. 2-1, fastball at 84, in for strike 2.
Got to keep this one low if you're Lokinen.
He did. The curveball bounced. Caruso did a nice job of getting in front of it. Caruso has kind of been the primary catcher thus far. Saw Hughes one game thus far as well. 3-2, broke his bat, shattered. Dwayne feeds to second. Got to get somebody over there. Rainey comes over a bit late. It was kind of in that tweener territory. Rainey thinking he might have to go for it. Fielder's choice and the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Dwayne made the right play going to second for 2. Lokinen's supposed to get over to first. As soon as he sees that ball hit to his left on the ground in the infield, he's got to be darting over to the bag over there to try to turn 2. Just a little bit of a lapse there.
First pitch to Snyder, high and tight. 0 for 6 thus far. And again, don't take too much into these numbers. There's a reason why we don't even think about batting average, slugging percentage, on-base percentage this early in the year, as this one popped up. Parker calling everybody off. Still hanging out there. Jeez. Looked like a ball yesterday for out number 3. Luukkonen. It's the one-out walk here in the second, a fielder's choice, but no more. It's still 3-0 Mammoths here on the USPBL Network.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
It's the Silver Studs playing on the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union soundstage out in right center field. One of the many bands that you will see on Saturdays here at Jimmy John's Field. Greg Vaughn Jr. to lead off this third inning here for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. He walked back in the first. 3-0 Mammoths with the lead. They sent 7 to the plate in the second. An inning where they collected just 1 hit. The 2 leadoff walks in the second, the biggest. Then the single by Keyshawn Lynch and the error that allowed Caruso to reach. Scored 2. That one slaps through the thickets of Verbrugge. Not sure it hit him, but that was 99 right back at Andrew.
Yeah, that'll wake you up if you're not awake already, put you on your toes. Right back up the dirt for Vaughn.
So if you missed it, you can rewind just a little bit. Pierce Banks just got picked up by the Minnesota Twins, the first USPBL player to go this year. Very early, though.
A guy, like we said, we thought would be out of here relatively soon. Sooner than I would have guessed, though. Clearly they like what they see, and rightfully so.
Nice curveball there, dipped in for strike 1 on Parker. Here's the 0-1. Unfair. That might have been the slider. A little bit tighter movement to it. Not a pitch he throws a lot right now, but
didn't look like Parker was ready for it either, and that's what we talked about. Keep hitters off balance with a 5-pitch repertoire.
The 0-2. Third breaking ball in a row off the plate outside. And Pierce Banks in the USPBL last year, 9 games, 9 starts. Struck out nearly 10 an inning, walked 3 an inning. So good there. 3.19 ERA. One of the better curveballs as well, along with this fellow right here, his teammate.
Verbrugge going to take over that ace role for the Hoppers in Banks' absence. And he's earned it too. Struggled in that second inning, but he has shown a lot of reasons to be happy.
Chiseled to Verbrugge here, fires to first. It'll advance Vaughn to second. That's for the first down here in the third. Twins have picked up quite a few players here in the USPBL over the years.
Certainly fans of the league.
Ricardo Velez, Jackson Hicks, Jordan Carr, Malik Barrington. Those were the 4 players that went all at once. Alec Craig back in 2019 as well. Eric Jones off the Unicorns in 19. Line drive off the glove of Verbrugge. Perfect spot for him to run to it and chuck to first. Boy, they're targeting Verbrugge as he shares a smile.
That's the third or fourth one to go back at him.
Next up, the second baseman, number 18, Gunnar Rainey.
That off the bat at 91, and now Gunnar Rainey all of a sudden the last shots here in the third inning after the leadoff man reached. Tyler Palm, also from the Hoppers back in 2018, went to the Twins. Tanner Keast in 2017. Of course, Randy Dobnak, who has made the Major League roster. Signed a nice 3-year deal, I believe, at the beginning of last year. Has been hurt quite a bit since, though, unfortunately. Dealing with a blister. Gunnar Rainey fouls that one out of play. 0-2 now. Checked his swing. I said he did not go. 1-2. Of course, Taylor Jellikowski was also gone in 2017 to the Twins, same year as Dobnak. Got as high as Double-A with Pensacola when that was still their Double-A affiliate. Tipped into the glove of Luker, and that will be the second K here for Andrew Verbrugge. Good bounce back inning. That's your fifth third out of the game here in the third inning. Time for JJ the Water Boy, presented by Michigan First Credit Union here today. And boy, for the second time this season, JJ didn't want to bring the water out. He was anxious to get that treat.
JJ's earned an inning off, if you ask me. Does plenty of work grabbing the bats of the hitters after they've reached on base and carrying flowers out to the crowd.
Wouldn't this be a nice time for us to get cookies too? It's kind of.
I think it's always a nice time for us to get cookies.
We're nearing midway of the game. Be a nice boost.
Lord knows we need it.
Now time for your DTE Energy Kid Race the mascot. And Ribby is nowhere near our kid here today. He's to third base, and Ribby is just basically given up. He's trotting his way to second base now. And again, your DTE Energy Kid Race the mascot goes to the kid once again here today. He's all business.
One of these days, one of those mascots is going to win it. I believe it.
We've had a couple close calls.
Yeah.
Greg Lokinen back out there for his third inning of work. He's looked sharp so far here today. Did have the one-out walk back in the second and a fielder's choice directly after that, but was able to retire the side without much. 24 pitches through 2 innings. So we'll see what Lokinen holds here in the third inning.
Leading off for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, the catcher number 7, Michael Luger.
Only base runners he's given up was in that second inning. Struck out Lopez Rios to begin the game, then forced to pop out, and a fly out back in the first. On the ground, third base side, Parker feeds across the diamond. Nice play.
It's a quick shot to Parker. He was ready for it, and a one pitch, one out. Got to make Lokinen happy.
Walker Paz, the bottom of the order. Trying to redeem himself after the error that scored 2 runs for the Mammoths a couple innings ago.
Boy, that curveball looked like it dove back into the zone for Lokinen. I thought that was a pretty good pitch. Doesn't get the call.
Yeah, the curves in general here today don't. There's been some decently located ones, but close. You know, not for sure a strike.
Oh. It would have been a good one for Paz to take a swing at, too. I don't want to say it was hung, but it was higher in the zone than you probably want it to be. But on the first pitch, you're not often looking for an off speed like that, especially elevated. You're looking for that fastball.
Strike 2 delivered to Paz there on the fastball. I think one of the balloons broke in the stands there.
Oh, boy.
The big pop as that one delivered outside close. But again, Paz taking it. The second walk here today for Lokinen, the third base runner.
Now Lokinen's going to have to work through the top of the order again for the second time with the base runner as well. A little pressure situation early on.
First pitch fastball high and in. Lopez Rios with the strikeout back in the first inning. Lokinen working very quickly even with the runner on base here. Swing and a miss. We've already seen a couple steals on Verbrugge. That's obviously with a right-hander on the mound. A little bit less, especially when you're on first base in terms of a lead that you can get with this lefty. Pickoffs have never really been an emphasis in this league, though. Parker feeds to second in time. Over to first, not quite. Pulls Dwayne off the bag. So Paz is the second out, and Lopez Rios aboard with a fielder's choice.
Yeah, the ability to run on lefties is a little bit different as opposed to having a righty out there. For a guy like Lokinen, though, who we talked about has been struggling a little bit with that velocity, there's more of an opportunity there. But he comes set pretty quick, and he likes to work fast out on that mound. Pitch clock is never really going to be an issue for him. So it'll be tough for runners to get down there. But a guy like Juan Lopez Rios, who we've seen steal a few bases already this season, and a guy who likes to run a lot, certainly might take his chance here with 2 outs.
Lynch going to have to charge and has no play in the end. And you could tell that ball was a bit challenging, and that will break up what was a no-hitter through just 2 2/3 for Lokinen. The infield single.
It was a bit of an interesting play by Lynch there because you could tell right away that that ball was dead off the ground once it hit the ground, and Lynch was going to have to charge at it, and he kind of charged sideways on this curving motion, and you knew if he didn't get to it quickly, he wasn't really going to have a play, and he called off the third baseman Parker over there as well.
That last curveball was nasty to the left-hander. Looked probably like it was starting on his hands and curved right in the heart of the plate. There's another one. Actually, that was the fastball over the plate. To the left it flies. Weinberger will make the catch for the third out here in the third inning. Loken and Strands a couple more here in the third. Brendan Shabath will take over play-by-play when we get back in the fourth on the USPBL Network.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Welcome back to Country Music Night here on the USPBL Network from Jimmy John's Field. Top of the fourth, Buddy Dwayne Jr. at the dish for the Mammoths. Struck out once today in his first at-bat, back in the second. Looks at strike one there. Check swing. Did Dwayne Jr. go around? He did. 0-2. Has looked at nothing but strikes today. Got behind 0-2 before he struck out looking in the second inning. Dwayne Jr.'s 1 for 6 on the season. 2 RBIs as well. Bats this one to center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. His second hit of the season for Buddy Dwayne Jr. The liner to center puts Dwayne on and will bring up Keyshawn Lynch in the number 9 slot. 1 on and nobody out. Lynch had that double back in the second inning. Fouls that one away there, 0-1.
Yeah, that second inning certainly a problem inning for the Hoppers. A lot of things went wrong. The 2 leadoff walks to begin it, and then the error that scored 2.
This one's hit to center field. Porter is over to make the play. Look Dwayne back to first. So now 1 out for the Hoppers.
In general, this Hoppers team pretty comfortable with the outfield that they put out there today. Bayard, Porter, and Snyder. There's going to be another addition once he gets a bit more healthy and able to throw. As we talked about earlier, Sean Lawler is also a pretty good one. They just want to make sure he's at 100% before he starts long tossing. But that could come as soon as Monday.
Order flips over as Nick Caruso steps up and looks at a strike one.
And really, we've talked about the inconsistency a bit of the infield so far. I don't think that's really going to continue. I think there's some good infielders on this team.
Definitely are, and some guys, as this one's hit to left field on a line, making the play is Bayard, quickly getting it back in. Dwayne was almost all the way at second, cutting it off. Juan Lopez Rios at the bag, and now quickly 2 outs for the Mammoths. As Tanner Thomas will come up, and Bayard, a guy who we talked about, made a nice play, robbed an extra base hit on opening day. Another good catch right there.
Yeah, he just gets great jumps. I mean, that ball and the ball he made certainly the other night, even more so a example of that. You don't make a play like that unless you read it right away and get on it.
Pickoff throw to first. Dwayne gets back in time. 2 stolen bases today for the Mammoths, one from Weinberger and one from Gunnar Rainey. Those came back in that troublesome second inning for Verbrugge. After the leadoff single, though, he's put down the next 2 batters. This one smacked to left field, foul by Tanner Thomas. Over to the Umbrellas. 0-2.
We talked about it a while ago, but both of these 2 starters are on around a 75, 80. Actually, I think they said more 80, 85 is the range of the pitch count.
Verbrugge again, back to Dwayne. Burke on the bag over there. Burke was playing tic-tac-toe over there earlier with Buddy Dwayne Jr. in between innings. He was playing first base for the Mammoths. Dwayne goes on the pitch. It's fouled off the foot of Tanner Thomas. I didn't see how that game ended up. I saw Dwayne started with an X in the middle. Didn't see where it went from there.
I didn't either, and this is where our society is gone. I said on the talkback button, hey, what's that hashtag behind first base?
Well, I only know it was tic-tac-toe because Burke did that back in spring training, and our wonderful video crew here at the USPBL got that on video and put that on Twitter. Thomas fouls another one back. Still working an 0-2 count. Thomas a ground out and a fly out today. The 0-2 outside for ball 1. That curve ball just missed.
Both these 2 curveballs have looked good, especially looking in the last inning. I really liked what we saw. The lefty batters really kept them off balance.
Dwayne went 2 pitches ago on the 0-2. Here he goes again on the 1-2. Swing and a miss. It doesn't matter. A strikeout to end the inning for Andrew Verbrugge. He sends down Tanner Thomas for out number 3. The Mammoths get none on the board as we head to the bottom of the 4th with the Diamond Hoppers here on the USPBL Network.
While credit cards help pay for everyday expenses, carrying a balance each month can be tough on your budget. Since interest rates compound daily, the amount you owe gets bigger and bigger each day the balance goes unpaid. A Green Path debt management program helps you regain control of your finances by lowering credit card interest rates, reducing your monthly payments, stopping late fees, improving overall financial health, paying off credit card debt in 5 years or less. Our caring certified counselors work with you to understand your financial picture and support you on the steps to get control of high-interest debt and achieve financial health. Call 844-572-5921 and get control of high-interest credit card debt today.
Bottom 4th on Country Music Night. Mammoths lead the Hoppers 3-0 here in downtown Utica from Jimmy John's Field. I'm Brendan Shabath. Next to me, my partner, Jeremy Otto. Woolly Mammoths have been the only offense today in this game. Hoppers have had a few base runners. Just 1 hit so far today. Greg Lokinen has done a good job through 3 innings. He's out here for the 4th. He's facing a tough opponent right now in Joe Burke. Pitches inside for ball 1. Burke had 6 home runs, 15 RBIs, a plus 1,000 OPS a season ago here at Jimmy John's Field. Lefty-righty matchup on the 1-1. Low, ball 2. It'll be 4, 5, 6, Burke, Lawler, Bayard for the Hoppers. Check swing did not go. That one misses inside. 3-1 now.
That's the curveball, more slider-like movement there for Lokinen.
Burke, quick single to left field between the infielders.
That went off the bat at 98 miles an hour. You could tell he barreled it up right away, and maybe that's just what this Hoppers team needs, looking to get the bats going overall. It's two things that Ryan Kottke didn't want to see, a late or an early deficit and early errors. Unfortunately, they've seen both of those so far today. One of the errors leading to 2 virtual runs in the second.
Burke is the first leadoff base runner of the game for the Diamond Hoppers. That one's way inside on Sean Lawler.
This Hoppers team does have some experienced bats available off the bench if they do want to go to them at some point today. Kreitzer and De Los Santos have gotten the night off. It's kind of a reset for both of them.
Whit Hughes as well, usually behind the dish, not more so of a bat, more of a defensive player, but Ryan Kottke and John Dombrowski resting some of their guys today, the co-managers of the Diamond Hoppers. The 2-0 back up the middle off Lukinen's leg, trying to make the play as Rainey. He's not going to get there. Both runners are going to be safe. The umpires call time. Lukinen going to meet with his catcher, Nick Caruso. Appears to be okay, no limp. But that one came back quickly to the mound.
And he didn't love the initial reaction, given that he just kind of sat there. I think it was more, shock and or frustration that he couldn't glove it. Gave the thumbs up. So it looks like he's going to be able to continue in this one. That's a good thing.
So now the number 6 hitter, Drew Bayard, steps up with 2 on and nobody out. Diamond Hoppers looking to get on the board for the first time in this game. Their first real offense so far here in the 4th inning. Lokinen sends that one in for ball 1. Bayard played his college days at 4 seasons at Westmont in the NAIA. 12 home runs, 61 RBIs with Westmont in his 4 years there. Newcomer to the USPBL this season. Has a 1-1 count and fouls it back 1-2. Thomas in the outfield and center is shaded a little bit left, leaving that right center gap open for the lefty Drew Bayard.
Another wipe-up pitch there from Lokinen. Maybe the break working to his disadvantage. You saw Layler kind of check swing, but not go all the way around.
That one on the outside edge, right on the black. Gets Drew Bayard looking for strike 3. A nice pitch there from Greg Lokinen and a much-needed strikeout to get the first out on the board in this inning. Brings up the right fielder, Griffin Schneider. Popped out back in the second. His only at-bat so far today. Inside, strike 1.
And Lokinen has seemed to ditch the fastball a little bit more, especially earlier in counts as this game has gone on. Not likely the changeup there.
That one's up in the zone and popped up. Out of play into the grandstands, a souvenir for one lucky fan.
One of those balls, we've seen a couple of them today where all the heads turn at once and look to see where is that going.
Nothing better than being at a baseball game and getting a foul ball or a home run. One out of play as this one's popped up again by Schneider. This one is in play this time as Lynch slides over to the bag at second base and makes the grab. 2 outs. Just what the doctor ordered for Greg Lokinen, a strikeout and a pop-out. Doesn't move either runner up. Now 2 on, 2 outs for Michael Luker.
Yeah, it looks like they ruled the infield fly rule there, so an out no matter what, but always good for Lynch to finish it off in style.
Luker grounded out to third his first time up. One's high for ball 1.
Skies have kind of lightened up a little bit more as the sun begins to set.
It's peering through the clouds over there. Will be, as you mentioned, setting soon.
It's still pretty thick, though, above the ballpark, especially near the outfield.
Sunset scheduled to be just before 9 p.m. tonight as we sit at 8:11 right now, bottom of the 4th inning. Hoppers have 2 on and 2 outs, down by 3 to the Westside Woolly Mammoths here from Jimmy John's Field. Lefty-righty matchup. The 1-1 to Luker. In there for strike 2. Swing and a miss. A big cut for Michael Luker. Greg Lokinen gets out of the jam. 2 strikeouts and a pop-out. And nothing doing for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers as they go down. Still trailing 3-0 as we head to the top of the 5th on the US PBL Network.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
What makes Detroit Mercy so unique is the fact that it's in the middle of Detroit, and especially with their service learning programs, you really get a chance to be a part of the community.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
The Silver Studs giving us some lovely country music jams here on Country Music Night, Saturday, May 28th from Jimmy John's Field. Top of the 5th with the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It'll be Trent Bauer, Greg Vaughn Jr., and Houston Parker due up for the boys in blue.
Play any instruments?
No, unfortunately. I've always wanted to learn guitar, and you know what? I told myself back in the winter that this was going to be the summer that I learned guitar, and here we are, and I haven't made a bit of progress.
One day.
Soon. One day.
You can be the broadcaster that plays the guitar while he broadcasts. First ever.
I had a friend. We started this semester at Michigan State University. The first 3 weeks were online, and I had a friend in one of my classes sat there on Zoom, played his guitar while the teacher was lecturing. And
really?
Yeah.
Did the teacher like that?
I mean, he didn't play it. He was muted, so
right,
it was okay. But, yeah, he thought it was pretty cool.
Okay.
Pretty nifty.
Well.
Andrew Verbrugge comes back out for the top of the 5th. Has recovered well from that 3-run second inning. Has only faced 7 batters since. Here's Trent Bauer. It's this one first pitch to left. Ready to make the play is Drew Bayard, and he gloves that one easily for out number 1.
Ball just seems to find the glove of Bayard, doesn't it? That one perfect in terms of his positioning. Had to move just kind of a half a step to his right, but And they all seem to be line drives.
Yeah, Bayard, the extra base robbing catch he made on opening day was a quick liner that hit off the wall off the Our Credit Union side. And he's had 2 line-out catches today. That one moving over towards the foul line. That pitch bounces off the catcher, Michael Luker, for ball 1 as Greg Vaughn Jr. steps in.
We saw the wind pick up very subtly, I don't know, in like the 3rd or 4th inning, but it's kind of died down.
Vaughn looks at a curveball that drops into the bottom of the zone, strike 1.
And Verbrugge's kind of having that same effect as Lokinen was to the lefty. Obviously, he a righty having the same effect to the right-handers.
Curveball again. Just misses. Luker wanted it badly, held it there for a long time. 2-1 though. Vaughn a walk in the 1st and a single back in the 3rd. Got all the way around to third base in that inning. Was not able to come home. That one's another ball for Andrew Verbrugge, and again, Michael Luker shaking his head at the call.
Just got to look at the curveball. Looked to be a strike.
Vaughn hits this one to 3rd. Pause, throws over to 1st. Out number 2.
At times, the smaller catcher can be at a slight disadvantage. We talked about that with some of the staff a couple weeks ago, but
Luker also does that new thing that we're seeing at every level of baseball from a lot of catchers, where he puts that opposite leg down, kind of hiding his knee, which is usually what a lot of umpires have used to locate the bottom of the strike zone. If that pitch comes in below the catcher's knee, they know that's a ball, so they put that knee down, so the umpire kind of has to find the bottom of the strike zone themselves, and it worked in the opposite of Luker's favor there.
And in addition to John Dombrowski's managerial duties, he also works with the catchers a lot on the side, and that's something he's a fan of. He's tried to teach it to a number of guys that have gone through the USPBL.
Houston Parker's got a 2-0 count with 2 outs. Swing and hit towards center. Going back is Porter at the track, at the wall, jumping and gone. Houston Parker just kept carrying the wind, took it out there to left center, and a home run for the Woolly Mammoths and Houston Parker.
Well, we just aren't quite sure at times the way the ball has been deadened a bit in the last couple days, but I'm with you. Off the bat, I thought that one for sure had a shot, but you see Porter, he had to run a long distance. I'm not sure he thought he would get over the wall that quickly either.
I think that was kind of what gave it away that it had a chance, was Porter had to get on his horse to really get out there to the gap, and Parker snuck it over. Brings up Wade Weinberger. 0 for 1 in a walk today. Outside, looks at ball 1. So the Woolly Mammoths extend their 3-0 lead. Another insurance run to make it 4. 4 runs on 5 hits and no errors for the Mammoths. 0 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Diamond Hoppers. The 1-1 to Weinberger. Low in the dirt, ball 2. This is likely Verbrugge's last inning, and it looked like it was going to be a textbook 1-2-3 inning until he got behind in the count to Houston Parker 2-0 and gave up a bomb. Fouled back by Weinberger, 2-2.
We saw him use his speed the last time he was on as well. Or I guess that was the second to last time in the second, stealing third. And, you know, we've talked a lot about the Beaver speed, but I think this Mammoth team has some underrated speed maybe that might come into play this year.
Certainly agree with that. Weinberger chops this one down the first base side, foul. As we just saw on the monitor there was nobody warming up in the Hoppers dugout. Bullpen, so not sure what they're going to do with Verbrugge if he can get out of this with only 1 run. Weinberger slashed this one to left. This is going to be trouble. Going over, coming in now is Bayard, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. So a home run from Houston Parker adds to the Westside Woolly Mammoths lead, makes it 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the fifth here from Jimmy John's Field on the USPBL Network.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Tryon and its team of attorneys. Tryon can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
Always rely on Tryon.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Country Music Night, again from Jimmy John's Field. Jeremy Otto, Brennan Shabath here. And Jeremy, you know what often goes good with country music is some beer. For the past 35 years, Bell's Brewery has been inspired to brew beers that you can count on, just not for taste, but quality as well. From Two-Hearted Ale to Oberon to new classics like Official Hazy IPA or the easy-drinking Golden Ale No. Yeah, Bell's has brewed inspired beers since 1985. Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. Walker Paz will lead things off for the Diamond Hoppers. They really could use some offense here in the bottom of the fifth after giving up that home run in the top to Houston Parker. Paz ducks out of the way of a pitch inside. This one's popped back foul. Makes it 1-1.
This just feels like I wouldn't say make or break inning, but this is a big inning for the Hoppers to get something on the board here. Get the offense feeling good.
Lokinen delivers the 1-1. Comes across the plate for strike two. Nobody in the bullpen for the Mammoths. As of right now, we can expect Lokinen to come out maybe for a sixth inning, depending on how he does here. Has pitched well today, only 3 hits. No runs for the Hoppers. They've left a few on base as well, 5 to be exact. That one comes across the plate again. Gets Walker Paz looking. Greg Lokinen, a nice K, his 4th of the game.
Not sure if it's because it's now the third time, or actually the second time through this order, that he's using that breaking ball more, or just because the fastball velocity isn't where he wants it, but it's been fairly effective, that strategy. There's Ferry.
Carson Ferry, a guy who we highlighted in the pregame show. Swing and a miss from Lopez Rios. He's quickly down 0-2. Ferry, a guy who had high velocity on opening day in his relief outing. Didn't get below 90 with that fastball, up to as high as 94. This one's hit to left field. Going back as Weinberger looks up, and it's gone. A shot from Juan Lopez Rios. You talked about it, Jeremy. Make or break inning, and Lopez Rios gets a much-needed dinger for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
Not that he's not capable, but he wouldn't be necessarily the candidate to do that here in this inning. The leadoff batter, a little bit more speedy and gap-to-back gap guy, but they'll take it whatever way they can, try to crack the scoring column and get back in this game.
That one quickly got out of the ballpark. Weinberger went back to the wall and looked at it, but never really had a chance, and that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, the shortstop, Alex Pupp. Pitches inside for ball one. For Lopez Rios, that's his first home run in the USPBL. Another pitch inside to Pupp, quickly ahead 2-0. Swing and a miss for Alex Pupp for strike one. A nice pitch there from Greg Lokinen.
And comfortable looking swing from Pupp. Not too often you'll see him do that.
Pupp is 1 for 2 on the day, had a single. This one's quickly lined to left. This one's trouble. Is it going to stay fair? It does not. It is foul. That one was close. Certainly extra bases for Alex Pupp if it got down. Instead, it's 2-2.
Boy, that's had some unlucky late tail on it as well. Kind of looked like it would at least hang out near the line and the foul pole, but zagged to the left at the last second.
Weinberger had to get on his horse and make a break for it. Was not going to get there in time. Nonetheless, Pupp sits here with a 2-2 count. Pupp had the infield single to short, that ball that just died in front of Keyshawn Lynch back in the third. This one's up the middle, and that's going to drop for a base hit. The art of hitting for Alex Pupp, and he gets on with a one-out single.
Yeah, not surprising that Ryan Kotke and John Dombrowski have moved him up in the order, hitting second here today. They hit him ninth on opening day, kind of just to let him settle in. He was here a bit late, coming from his college season, but good-looking swing there a couple times in a row.
Pupp had 3 seasons at Air Force before joining the USPBL. Here's Blake Porter. Big cut there on the inside and on the hands, fouled away. Porter had the inaugural home run on opening day of this USPBL season. Hit a solo shot to left. This one's chopped to first. Dwayne is there, tags the bag for one, throw to second. Chopped short. Lynch held the tag, but Pupp makes it over there in time. 2 outs now, but Porter advances the runner.
Definitely not an easy play to turn 2 on for a first baseman, kind of moving the opposite way you normally would there, but you could tell his intentions right away. He quickly snatched it, try to get it over to second base in time on a little skipping throw, but Pupp is safe. But a big second out here for Greg, trying to get out of this without any more runs scored in the 5th.
Joe Burke up to bat now. Single last inning. This one bounces away back to the backstop, gets behind Caruso, and that will advance Pupp 90 feet closer to home plate as he heads over to third. So with 2 outs now, the number 4 hitter in the Diamond Hoppers lineup. Bit of a jam here for Greg Lokinen. The 1-0 to Burke. Fouled away.
We talked about this lineup. I mean, this can be one of the better lineups in the league if they hit like this.
Burke looks at one inside, 2-1.
You like the dynamic with the speed that Lopez Rios can bring at the top, and he obviously flexed his muscles there with the home run to get this going in the 5th, but the power definitely in the middle.
That one on the outside edge for a strike. Joe Burke doesn't like the call. Strike zone seems to have been expanded today from earlier games that we've had this season. 2-2 with 2 outs. Pupp the runner on third. Hard hit down the third base line and foul.
You can see the fuzzies floating across the screen like snow here today. That gives both of us nightmares, I think.
It's not good for our allergies. We had that talk pregame off air, something you and I personally struggle with quite a bit, especially in the summertime. Burke checked his swing, fouled. Some frustrations at the dish for Joe Burke right now. You can see it in his reactions and on his face. Again, it's early in the year, but hitting 143, just one hit came today. Excuse me, that was his second hit of the season today. A guy who knows what he can do, certainly has a lot of power. This one's quickly lined to left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. An RBI single for Joe Burke. Weinberger quickly gets it into Lynch, and a clutch piece of hitting by Joe Burke puts the second run on the board for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
We've kind of talked about it before. This is a fairly young lineup for the Hoppers, a lot of first-year pros. Joe Burke is not one of those, though. He brought some power to the USPBL at the end of the year for the Unicorns, and showing it here today as well. Roping one to left in a big spot, 97 off the bats. Here come the Hoppers. Don't look now.
Now Lokinen's got to face another tough guy in Sean Lawler with a runner on and 2 outs, but he gets a strike called strike one. Lefty here in the bottom of the 5th. That one doesn't find the zone. Lawler, as we talked about, has been dealing with that injury. Usually would be out in the field for the Diamond Hoppers, but he has the DH role today and dives out of the way, Matrix-like, with a pitch way inside, 2-1.
That'll give the elbow a scare that's been bothering him.
Certainly will. He's got that pad on it, as you can see there. Trying to protect it in the event of something like that happening. Someone just getting a little up and in. Count now 3-1 on the outside pitch.
Good patience on that curveball. He saw a couple of them straight into the glove. No thought about swinging in it quite yet.
Burke, the runner at first. Slapped foul. Count is full.
Fairly straight up defense here with 2 outs, and Dwayne is even playing in front of Lawler. Now behind, actually, here. Or in front of Burke, I should say.
Burke will be going on the 3-2 here. Way inside. It gets past. Burke looking at going to third. He will not, so a walk for Greg Lokinen with 2 outs, and that puts 2 on.
Boy, it probably feels like a hit by pitch. The amount of times that Lawler had to get out of the way and kind of bail at the last moment.
Had a few pitches in that at-bat come up and inside, and now Taylor Jellikowski is going to make a visit to Lokinen. Is he going to finish this inning, or is that going to be his day? I think that's going to be the day for Greg Lokinen. 2 on and 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Greg Lokinen's day is done as he gives up 2 runs off a home run and a single here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back on the USPBL Network. The Jimmy John's Pitching Change.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Christian Dearman, the new pitcher for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. The Florida native, 25 years old, stands at 6'1", 195, making his first appearance in the USPBL. A right-handed sidearm pitcher for the Mammoths on the bump.
And kind of a change in the look, obviously, with the righty and coming from the side as well. For this lefty, it's going to be interesting to see because he hides it pretty well.
That one's inside for ball one for Dearman. He inherits a bit of a jam, already a 2-run inning for the Hoppers, and they've got 2 on and 2 out. It's Burke over at second, Lawler over at first. Drew Bayard at the dish. Bayard's been busy in the field today. The 1-1. Smacked foul 1 and 2. The inning started with Walker Paz getting caught looking by Lokinen. That one's bounced in the dirt up to the plate. 2 and 2. Paz struck out looking, and then a home run from Lopez Rios, a single by Pup. Porter grounded out to first, and then Burke had an RBI single to left to come around. A walk from Lawler leads us to where we are now. This one's popped up, racing over to make the play is Parker. It's going to get out of the seats, though, out of play and into the seats for a foul ball. And a ovation for that man who made a nice play to grab it.
Looks like he had a beer in hand as well. Did not spill.
It's an athletic play there. So Bayard looks at a 2 and 2. Fouled away again, this time the opposite side down first baseline. Sidearm delivery from Dearman. Back up the middle. This is going to be over the glove of Keyshawn Lish. That's going to score 1. Burke comes around. Lawler over to third. The Diamond Hoppers right back in this have made it a 1-run game.
Yeah, kind of a knuckling ball. You could see it straight off the bat. Dearman tried to react to it as well. Lynch was kind of in between. Should he charge? Should he stay back? Tried to charge, but it knuckled past his glove. And just like that, a 4-3 game.
Now Griffin Schneider, the righty right fielder, looks at a strike one. Runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Looks like they ruled that an error.
Could see that one going either way. Like you said, it was a weird play for Lynch to make, but at the end of the day, it did just hop right over his glove. He was there, and it would have ended the inning. Strike 2 to Griffin Schneider. The 1-2. Wave and a miss. Schneider gave up on that one for out number 3, but not before the Diamond Hoppers can do a little bit of damage. They've had a 3-run 5th inning to make it a 4-3 game. And when we come back, it'll be Jeremy Otto with the top of the 6th on the USPBL Network.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Jeremy Otto and Brendan Shabath bringing to the call here today on the USPBL Network. A pitching change. Verbrugge is done after 5 complete here today. It's Carson Ferry, who they think will go possibly 2 to 3 here today if he's effective.
If he does anything like he did on opening day, wouldn't be surprised for him to go 3. A guy who Ryan Kotke talked about, he wouldn't be upset to make a starter. And now there's a newfound spot with Pierce Banks signing with the Minnesota Twins today for a starter on this roster. Ferry has the confidence, has the velocity. We'll see today if he has the location and the movement to kind of take that spot. I certainly think he does.
So he will face the bottom of the order here, 7, 8, 9. Gunnar Rainey, Buddy Dwayne, and Keyshawn Lynch, your scheduled batters for the Mammoths. They had a solo home run back in the 5th by Houston Parker. We question whether it might go out over the left center field gap, kind of on a line, but it did sneak out. We've seen the home runs perk up here today.
I think Parker honestly kind of caught that right at a good time because the wind was heading that direction, and we've seen the wind, I don't want to say swirling, but come and go throughout periods today, and it's gone right now, but he caught it at the right time.
Ferry, a fastball that can reach all the way up to 93. Enthused what we will see out of him here today. Now the 0-1. Curveball in for strike 2. And that's one of the things that made him look really good the other day. The good fastball and the good curveball as well. Maybe the best we've seen him in a USPBL uniform, given it was a fairly shorter outing, but still.
Yeah, that curveball comes in much slower than that fastball, and if he keeps that fastball elevated velocity-wise and high up in the 90s, when that curveball comes in at high 70s, that's a big change for a hitter to deal with.
Timing was something that Shane McCaddy, the pitching coordinator last year, now the big boss here at the USPBL over the team personnel, worked on him with, which is something you hear a lot with pitchers, and it can mean different things, different body parts moving in sync. 1-2 in there for strike 3. Knee buckling curveball. I'm not sure Gunnar Rainey liked the location. 1 up and 1 down for Carson Ferry here in the 6th. Now it's Buddy Dwayne Jr. He singled back in the 4th and struck out in the 2nd. Graduate of Central Connecticut State. Played there in 2017 to 2021. 2021, he had a .325 average with some power, 5 home runs and 8 doubles. Here's the 1-0. 92 zinged in for strike 1. Spread out middle of the infield. Pup well in the gap at short. Lopez Rios a bit more towards the second base bag there. Now the 1-1. Curveball left it up. 2-1 on Dwayne. .614 ERA through 18 appearances. All of those out of the bullpen. Now the 2-1, big whiff and a miss. Took a little bit off on the fastball at 89. Got to be careful with reliever ERAs, though, in the USPBL because, you know, ERA for reliever anyway, you got to take with a grain of salt unless you really look out. You know, hey, did he have an outing where he gave up 6 or 7? That can really inflate it because you're not pitching as many innings as a reliever. 2-2, pounded low. But I think, you know, as Brendan mentioned, and maybe even the door opens now for Ferry to be a starter if, you know, Banks is obviously gone. He's not going to play any more USPBL games. He was supposed to start on Monday. Doubtful that Ferry will start again after pitching 3 or so here today. Unless they're making adjustments as we speak, which could be.
Certainly could be the case, but
Ooh, that bat broke. We've seen a lot of broken bats. Lopez Rios feeds to first in time.
A nice snag and feed by Lopez Rios for the second out. But, yeah, Ferry's a guy who could take over this starting role. And like you talked about, the ERA for relievers has to be taken with a grain of salt. Often they come in with more than one runner on base and have to inherit a jam. And, you know, especially at the USPBL level, we just saw it with Lokinen, and there was an unearned run as a result for Christian Dearman in that inning. But, yeah, ERA has to be taken with a grain of salt for a reliever in any case.
Here's Keyshawn Lynch now, bottom of the order after 2 up and 2 down here by Ferry. Boy, you got to smile if you're a pitcher when you throw a fastball 91 miles an hour, curveball like spin on it, in on the hands, breaks the bat. 91 away to Keyshawn Lynch. But this is the consistency that you look for. Sorry to cut you off there, but for Carson Ferry as well. Because it's one thing to look really good in your first outing back, you know, have a good curveball, have a good fastball, but the repeatability is the important thing at moving on to the next level. And he's at least showing early here today. You don't want to put the cart before the horse on what this full outing is going to look like, but the good stuff looks like it's back again here today.
Yeah, even if you don't have a radar gun, I'll tell you, we have one, and everything's above 91, which is always good to see. But even if you don't, you can just watch this with your eyes and hear it, the catcher's mitt pop when that fastball drives in there. It's more than some of the other pitchers we've seen today, and that tells you that he's got some life and some just speed behind that pitch.
Some positives for Brunke today as well. Probably would love to take back those 2 walks to begin the second inning. They both scored. A couple of those runs unearned, though, after the error. Here's the 2-1. Fastball high as Luker looked to pull it back. 3-1 now on Lynch. Four runs off 5 hits and 1 error for the Mammoths. 3 runs off 6 hits and 1 error for the Diamond Hoppers thus far. Now the 3-1 popped him up. Going to stay on the left side of the infield. Paz calling for it at third. That's a 1-2-3 breeze of an inning for Carson Ferry. Strikeout, ground out, pop up, the variety of outs. And he's looked very good so far to start this year. Back with more after this on the USPBL Network.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Christian Dearman on for his first full inning of work in the 6th inning. He was kind of going to be used as more the bridge guy here today. Through to the last 2 batters after Lokinen was lifted after a single and a walk. Gave up a 1-out home run to Lopez Rios as well.
It started as a fantastic day for Greg Lokinen. Had a couple 1-2-3 innings and, you know, a couple strikeouts. Didn't give up too many base runners. Didn't give up a hit until the 3rd inning, and then it all kind of just came apart there in the 5th before he was relieved.
Dearman throws the fastball outside. Native of Florida International. Him and McFadden came up together. They were both playing for the Savannah Bananas. As that one is fouled off, 0-2 on Luker. Yeah, our director P.J. Gradowski kind of whispered in our ear there. It looked like Luker was a bit uncomfortable with how quickly the Dearman delivered that first pitch, and kind of again there.
Well, he did that on the very first pitch he stepped out there, too. He goes very quick. You got to be ready. It's like batting practice for these guys.
Now the 1-2. Hits the outside corner for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Christian Dearman. And really, because of the pitch clock, you don't have a lot of time to step out. It's 9 seconds for the batter to get ready. We have not seen a pitch clock violation yet.
I don't even know if we've seen a warning yet this year. Not that I've noticed.
Not egregious, that's for sure. 1-0 is hitting Paz. He's on for the second time today. So the pitch clock now extends to 20 seconds, but why don't you count in your head here on the first few pitches to Lopez Rios and see how long it takes Dearman. He slows up a bit here with the runner on base. First pitch slider off the plate outside, 1-0. Slots the fastball in for strike 1. There he goes again, ready. In for strike 2. Lopez Rios hit that home run with 1 out in the 5th. Now the 1-2. Slider away, 2-2 on Juan. Had a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Struck out in the 1st.
It was a really good slider by Dearman to try to get Lopez Rios to chase. Good job laying off of it.
Brendan has to increase his pace to a hockey analyst.
Yeah.
Here in between pitches.
Gotta get in and get out.
Doing his Paul Woods impersonation here as Lopez Rios lifts it foul.
Just like they teach you at the young age. In, out, give it back to the play-by-play guy.
Runner moving, this one outside. Good pitch to throw on potentially, but it's a walk. Kind of hung Caruso like a top around anyway, so that is walk number 4 in total for this Mammoths pitching staff today. Now Alex Pupp comes back to the plate. He hung one to left that at the very last second curved to the left and foul. Otherwise, had home run distance. Just a matter of whether it was staying fair and or getting out of here.
Back to your point about the walks, Jeremy. Only 4 today so far for the Mammoths. Much different day than we had yesterday.
Sure thing, yeah. Fastball in for strike 1. We had, 7 for the Unicorns in the first 2 innings.
We've got 7 total today right now.
Now the 1-1. Slider away, kind of yanked onto the hand. You could see it right away.
Yanked hard. That thing had some movement all the way to the other batter's box.
Now the 2-1. Hardy fastball on the corner for strike 2. Two pitch, fouled right back. A few fans flinched at that one. But did you?
No, I didn't. I flinched at the fireworks yesterday.
You sure did. Yeah, that was a big flinch.
I was zoned out during the anthem. I wasn't expecting that. It came in the middle of the song, too, though. And it just, wow. I was ready to take cover.
Bombs bursting in air. Here's a pop-up down the first base line. Caruso in that zigzag territory out of our reach, or view, I should say, out of Caruso's reach, for that matter. So we told you that Dearman and McFadden both played together with the Savannah Bananas. They have since created a little pro tour. They toured around the South, I believe, this year, which is new because they've normally just been a summer collegiate team, which they're now active again for that as well. Now the 2-2. Chopped foul. It's always fun to ask those guys, and I have been able to ask, hey, what's the craziest thing they had you do?
Right. I've seen guys in kilts and sleeve cutoff uniforms and baseball shorts, literal shorts where you can see the knees, and had to do dance moves and stuff.
Slider high and in. For Dearman, they had him come out of the cop car, which drove out to the mound. Head coach came out to the car, and he came out WWE style, kind of escorting him out to the mound. This one on the ground to Rainey. Feeds to second in time, over to first. Too slow, but close, which will put runners on first and third here with 2 gone in the 6th.
Back to your point, though, that's one way to make an entrance in a game, make yourself known, coming out of the cop car WWE style.
Colin Ledbetter said they weighed him in several times in front of the fans, like a wrestler. You know who's pitching, or who did pitch for the Savannah Bananas, was Jake Peavy.
Really?
Former big league ace.
Did not know he was a former Banana. Learned something new.
No,
every
he's
day.
like he pitched for them in the tour, just like this last.
Oh, gotcha.
I believe. Now the 2-0. Fly ball to right. It has the distance. Is it fair? No.
Wow.
Those fans on the hill would have been treated to a fine baseball as they kind of all looked eerily to the right, like, where's the ball? Where's the ball? Let's locate it.
That one, though, Porter almost had his second no-doubter of the year. Boy, that got out of here in a hurry, too. I thought it was going to stay fair.
Trying to snap an 0 for 3. Here's the 2-1. Line drive to the gap in right center field. That baby is going to get into the glove of Thomas in center field. He ran a long, long way as he was playing just to the left of the second base bag. And that will be the end of the 6th inning and save the potential tying and or go-ahead run here in the 6th inning. Greg Vaughn Jr. likes it. His team's up 1.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether like you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Woolley getting into it here today. Shake it off, a middle innings tradition here at the USPBL. Both mascots feeling the groove here today. Carson Ferry on for his second inning of work. He took over for Brugge in the 6th. It'll be the top of the order due up for the Mammoths. Caruso, Thomas, and Bauer. How about that catch by Thomas in center field, though?
That's one of those ones where if you're the batter, you see that come off the bat, you say, oh, that's down, that's in the gap, that's 2, I got to get 2, I got to get to second. And then all of a sudden, Thomas lays out, and you see it hit the leather, and you just think to yourself, how did he get there? Absolutely no way. And sure enough, you got to give him credit, though. A fantastic play by Tanner Thomas.
Caruso today, fly out to right in the first, reached on an error in the second, and lined out back in the fourth. Fielder straight up on him. Fastball poured in at 90 for strike one. We saw the fastball reach 92 a couple times in that sixth. For the most part, it was an in-and-out inning for Carson Ferry. Now the 0-1. Shuttered back to the screen. Top of the order today is reached just twice for this Mammoths team. That solo home run by Parker looming large right now, keeping the game at a lead currently.
It kind of felt like that was going to be an important shot, too. Just because, you know, the Mammoths were able to get those 3 runs in the second inning, kind of just off a tough inning by Verbrugge that just the errors and the mistakes compounded on top of each other. That solo shot was a well-earned run, though.
First pitch was at 7:07 here today. You see DeSanti start to ponder warming up their closer as this one spiked and knocked down with the helmet by Michael Luker. Luker saw a little bit of time in the USPBL last year with the Beavers. Cut in the middle of the season, worked really hard, worked on a lot of drills that John Dombrowski had worked on with him here and continually sent film in the offseason. Decided to bring him back this year. 2-2, golf to left. Bayard sliding. Did he make that catch as well? He did not. Or he did. Or did he? Caruso thinks he didn't. The home plate umpire signaled it was an out. The Diamond Hoppers are all signaling one out to everybody out there, and Caruso isn't buying it right now, and nobody's telling him to leave.
Finally, I think he gets told, and yeah. Man, I don't know whose side to be on. That was a close call either way. We've got no umpire over on that side of the diamond.
Ooh. He might have trapped that ball. It's hard to tell on that angle, or that look. Big swing by Tanner Thomas. Boy, 2 really close plays in the outfield. Thomas had the other one. A great running catch by him and a dive. Confirmed on replay after the inning was over that he indeed caught that baseball.
Oh, well, we can see it if you slow down the replay. That is a single for the Woolly Mammoths. It actually looked like it got under the glove of Bayard and then hit him in the chest. But he was able to hide it well.
He sold it. Now the 1-1. 91 in on the hands as Thomas backs off. Fly out, ground out, strikeout for Tanner so far today. Trent Bauer on deck. He's the 3-hole hitter. Ferry readying the 2-1. Wow, that fastball tailed. Kind of looking like it would start on the middle and then back towards the outer edge of the plate. 7th inning brought to you by Jimmy John's. We thank Jimmy John's for their partnership with the USPBL. Now the 2-2. In there for strike 3. Thomas fans. And that's the second out here in the 7th. Both strikeouts for Ferry have been looking.
Carson Ferry's been able to take advantage of a somewhat expanded strike zone today. We've seen that all day, and he's used it to his advantage well. Get a couple guys caught looking near the bottom of the zone.
Outfielders have played pretty deep here today. There has been very little wind as it cools off, as the sun completely falls. First pitch curveball off the plate outside. Hasn't used a lot of curveballs here in this game compared to his first outing. Hasn't needed it much.
He just seems so comfortable with that fastball. He's locating it. He's sending it in hard and fast. And, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Now the 1-0. High and away, fastball at 90. He's working on a changeup as well. And just talking to Carson, I mean, he's a guy when you throw 90 to 92 at the level he was playing at Northland College and Northern Wisconsin, that's Division III. If you have a fastball like he does, you really don't need a second and or third pitch sometimes. 2-0, in for strike one.
Yeah, that's just kind of how he's developed. In college, he was doing what worked for him and trying to be the best college player that he could. And now that he's a professional player, he's working on that changeup and trying to become the best pro player he can be, and that involves getting more pitches in your repertoire.
He's thrown it a couple times here today. Just threw it once all of last year. Worked a lot on it in the offseason. He realizes, hey, look, if you're going to have success not only here at the USPBL, you can get away with, if you have a power fastball like that and a good curveball like he does, you can, for the most part, get away with 2 pitches unless you're starting, which he might, as we've talked about. Now the 2-2.
That's probably part of that change-up development as well. You know, a lot of guys like the starter role and like to get more innings, and that might be something that Ferry wants to try, and he'll have an opportunity here to do that, especially if that changeup continues to develop.
Looks like the grip there. That's the fastball maybe at 91 as this one's into center field and a diving catch by Porter. How about the defense all of a sudden? They've been very active in the outfield lately. It's still a 4-3 game in favor of the Mammoths in this one as the Hoppers will look to get those bats going again. Time for your 7th inning stretch here today. Brought to you by Genesis Credit Union. And also Take Me Out to the Ball Game time as well.
My favorite part.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Genesis Credit Union. Back with more after this on the USPBL Network.
There's nothing better than a ball game at Jimmy John's Field and a cold beer from Midland Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Kyle, the head brewer at Midland Brewing Company, here to wish you a stellar time making memories at Jimmy John's Field. And we hope that you're living it up with a Copper Harbor Ale in your cup. You can find more of our selections here at the ballpark and around town at your favorite bottle shops too. We hope you have a ball at the game, and remember, enjoy responsibly. Let's play ball.
Pitching has kind of taken over this game, and certainly defense as well. The outfielders have been very active today. Joe Burke to lead off the 7th inning. He has a pair of singles in his last 2 at-bats here today. Oh, 2 away, 1-2 on Joe Burke now. We say hello to Brian here today, Brian Belaski and Lynette Olenichek. So glad they have chose to spend part of their Saturday with us here today. Get a look at the fielders there. Oh, wipeout slider at the bottom of the zone. A slider that has more curve-like speed. That one at just 67.6. And that's strikeout number 3 for Dearman since taking over in the 5th inning. And boy, you see another batter flustered how quickly Dearman is coming set and coming home. There he is again, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball by him at 84. Lawler stepping out. Calls time. You only have 9 seconds as a batter, though, in this new pitch clock system. 0-2, punch low. That will buy him some time. Getting the new baseball. Dearman in for Lokinen, who threw 5 2/3 here tonight. The 5th inning, the big inning that kind of chased him out. Mammoth scoring 3 more runs to, at that time, take a 4-0 lead. Now the full count delivery. Popped him up, but foul. Low and in. He walks the first batter here in the 7th inning, or the second batter, I should say, his second free pass tonight. Now Drew Bayard comes to the plate. RBI single in the 5th. Fielder's choice back in the 2nd. Dearman, a guy, we talked about it a little bit in the 2nd game last week, a guy that just likes to have fun on the mound. Thought he took baseball a bit too seriously before, kind of learned that edge with the Savannah Bananas. 0-1, swing and a miss, my goodness. The Ephus slider at 65.
Jeremy, I've got some insider information on that last foul ball.
Do you?
I was coming back from the bathroom up above near the suites. That foul ball hit off the roof above the suites and hit a brand new Jeep truck in the parking lot.
Oh, no.
Put a dent in the hood.
Oh, no. That one tipped into the glove for strike 3. That's not fun.
Someone's going to be very disappointed when they leave tonight.
The wave has begun here at the ballpark. That's not something you see very often here at Jimmy John's Field. There's not a lot of room for it to go all the way around because the other areas are kind of spread out. You have the people in the suites above and below, and the cabana suites on the first and third base lines, and the people kind of in the patio spaces in the outfield. And that was a balk on Dearman. .1-0, fastball pulled back in for strike 1.
Could prove costly if Schneider can get a single here.
One and two on Snyder now. Another stolen base here today. Lawler. Huntington Bank sponsors all your stolen bases this year. Now the 2-2 with 2 outs. Fastball high and away. 2-2 on Griffin Snyder now. Center fielder Thomas playing to the right of the second base bag. Decent space in between left and center. One of his better fastballs tonight ruled outside. And Griffin Snyder, the second man to walk here in the 7th. Looks like we have a pinch hitter here in a big spot. Kreitzer going to make his way to the plate. So Luker is done. That likely means that Hughes will catch in the next inning.
Kreitzer, someone we talked about earlier today. Taking a little rest day off. Chance to reset. Does get in here in the 7th. Power hitter for the Hoppers.
First pitch fastball off the plate outside. Kreitzer 0 for 3 this year with 2 Ks. So looking to break that 0 for.
He's working with Ryan Kotke on shortening up that swing a little bit, but staying out in front of the ball.
And they kind of had a lengthy conversation in batting practice about that, just trying to make that adjustment. One reason why they gave him the day off, don't really want him to think about it too much in the box. 1-1 in the hands and fouled off.
Kreitzer's another guy who had that confidence conversation with Kotke that we talked about earlier. That, you know, you're here for a reason, and there might be some improvements to make, but we want you here, and we expect you to do well.
Fans here. That's the third K of the inning for Dearman. He struck out 5 here in an inning, or 2 innings, and a third. Keeps the game right where it is on the USPBL network.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you, and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether like you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Here's another look at the Silver Studs here today on Country Music Night at the ballpark. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union soundstage out there.
Playing one of the, we talked last night about, there's about 6 country songs that I like. That's one of them that I can appreciate. Country Girl, Shake It For Me, Girl.
Greg Vaughn Jr. to lead it off here in the 8th inning for the Mammoths. 4, 5, 6 due up. Vaughn Jr., Parker, and Weinberger. 4 runs off 5 hits and 1 error for the Mammoths. 3 runs off 6 hits and an error for the Diamond Hoppers. First pitch, a fastball high. Ferry has looked very sharp thus far. 6 up, 6 down, 2 Ks. Has used his fielders quite well.
The contact that he's gotten has been relatively soft as well. A couple line outs toward the outfield, but that fastball has looked great. The curveball has looked good.
Yeah, very few pitches just like that one. Most have been near or a strike.
That one was certainly not his best.
Fastball at 91, dotted in for strike 2. 91, 92 consistently here today. Center fielder Porter playing to the right of the bag. Everyone fairly deep on Vaughn Jr., who has some pop. The 1-2 off the end of the bat at 90. Well, tomorrow, Bark in the Park presented by Happy Tails Learning Center for Dogs, who train JJ, in fact. Get a Bark in the Park ticket, $20, includes a ticket to the game in the Chevrolet Pavilion. Nice spot to watch a ball game in left, kind of elevated on a hill out there. A hot dog, unlimited soft drinks, and water. Now the 2-2. Bender in for strike 3. His third K here today.
Nice bender towards the bottom of the zone for Carson Ferry. Bark in the Park tomorrow. There'll be some friends for JJ. I'm sure that'll make him happy.
Yep. $2 towards that Bark in the Park ticket will go back to Fido and Fluffy's Rescue, Inc. 1 dog per adult. And no dogs under 6 months, so no early puppies there. Here's the first pitch to Parker. 91 high. There's the other hill. One of the better tickets in the park as well. A cheap seat.
Picnic, grill some hot dogs or something, bring some fruit, get a blanket, relax in the sun, and then under the lights with your family. Maybe catch a home run ball, too.
Kind of like a concert night as well, so a double dip there.
Yeah. Really not much more you can say about a great family environment and a great way to spend your weekend or weeknight, if it's a Thursday or maybe a Monday game like we have a rare one this weekend.
You'll be on the call that one with Nick Matthews. Tomorrow it's you and I at 1:05, 12:45 on the pregame show here on the USPBL Network. Now the 1-1. Fastball 91, hard to hit, but call the ball. 2-1 on Houston Parker. Solo shot in the 5th.
I think Parker was content on taking that pitch, whether it was a strike or not. You mentioned it's a hard one to hit down and away, too. Flying in there at 91.
Backs away on that one. 3-1 on Parker now. Some stirring in the Hoppers' pen, but nobody throwing. .92, low and in. All those pitches fairly close. And Ferry surrenders his first base runner here tonight. I think it's safe to say he'll make it through the 8th unless he's roughed up a bit. But
even that at bat wasn't really a bad one for Ferry. Just kind of missed the zone by a few inches. Half a ball here and there on a couple pitches. Didn't really get the benefit of the doubt on what we've talked about has been an expanded strike zone tonight.
41 pitches for Ferry. Wouldn't think he would go above 50.
That's what I was going to say. That's probably his benchmark there.
Weinberger with a swing and a miss at the fastball at 90. Unless he does feel loose, and again, we're speculating here, but, they were speculating he could become a starter even before the Banks news came a-calling.
Starters are going to throw more than 50. That's what they're going to want, so I think he could certainly make his case. Ryan Cockey and John Dombrowski for staying out there for one more, maybe.
It does help having the additional games this week, especially these two teams played on Thursday as well. In terms of arm usage and just getting guys in, it's always an important thing as well. 1-2, another close pitch outside. Tomorrow we have Mammoths and Unicorns. Here's the 1-2. Curveball on the ground to Pop. Through the legs. Parker to third base. It's going to be first and third here with only one out in the 8th.
That's an unfortunate break for Carson Ferry. We were just speculating about how far he's going to go, and with what could have been a double play, what almost surely was an out, and the error from Pup means that Ferry might not have the opportunity to finish this 8th inning.
So a walk and an error. Second on the board for the Hoppers. The Mammoths have one. Could loom large here with the lead holding to just one. On the ground to Pup. Feeds to second in time. Over to first. Redemption! In the best possible way. 6-4-3 to end the inning. Still 4-3. We'll see if these Hoppers bats can catch up.
You dreamed of starting a company, not an HR department, but your business has grown fast, and so have the complexities of payroll and taxes, benefits administration, and other HR functions. That's why your business needs a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions. Tryon provides businesses of all sizes access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
Well, how about Christian Dearman here today? He wasn't necessarily in the picture to fully, get in the game, but he's having a pretty nice outing right now. He took over for Lokinen in the 5th, allowed an RBI single, but then struck out Snyder. He struck out a total of 5 today. He struck out the side in the 7th, even after walking 2. He's used that very quick speed to his benefit here today, kind of flustering batters at point. They've tried to find a way to slow him down, but with the pitch clock and the 9-second minimum or maximum on the batter, it's hard. First pitch to Paz outside, 1-0. What a rebound it was for Pup at shortstop after the air that went through his legs. The ball will find you, whether you want it or not, and it found him, and he delivered with a feed to second and over to first, a double play to get out of the inning. Sinking liner to left, into the glove of Weinberger. 1 up and 1 down here in the 8th.
It's hard to not be romantic about baseball, huh?
Juan Lopez Rios here in the 8th. You watched that Field of Dreams game last year?
I didn't actually. I wasn't able to catch that one.
I think I was here, but I definitely saw some highlights, obviously. Pretty cool.
They are doing it again this year, right?
They are, yeah. 2 different teams. I can't remember who's playing in it now. 1-0 to Lynch. Across his body. Picks, cannot over at first. And maybe that gets the Hoppers going again here in the 8th. So it's ruled an error with 1 out here in the 8th, and this is not the part of the lineup where you want the routine out to go to waste.
Certainly not. I know the error goes to, well, actually, who does it go to there? Does it go to Dwayne on the pick, or is that Lynch on the catch, or on the throw, I should say?
Have to take another look at that Lynch throw.
I don't think it was a terrible throw, but the one thing I'd noticed on that play is the infield grass seems to just grab some of the chopped grounders that we've seen today. We saw the one earlier from Lynch that almost came to a standstill before he was able to even get to it. And that was another one. It was hard off the bat and took a bounce and kind of just died into the ground.
Yeah, that other one kind of knuckled as well that got by Lynch into the outfield. So not sure if it's the way it's cut here today or... 0-2, ouch. Slider got him golfing at it. It's K number 6 here today for Dearman.
Nasty slider there. Pup really had no shot at it. He kind of committed to it halfway to the plate and took that wave at it that you never really have a shot, and all you're hoping to do is tip it and stay alive. And with the movement on that slider, that's not going to happen a whole lot.
That one in for strike 1. Chopped foul. Well, with how quick he's working, the Hopper's just trying to find a way to drive in that run. Maybe a hit and run there.
Yeah, not quite sure if that might have been why Porter swung. That one was kind of low and in, not exactly a great pitch to swing at.
Not sure you do that with 2 outs, though, I guess, as Porter golfs at it for K number 7. Christian Dearman keeping this game right where it is and throwing a gem here in the late innings of this one. 4-3 Mammoths. Stick around.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better. With free checking and fraud protection services, 166.7% is possible.
166.7.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Jeremy Otto and Brendan Shabath back with you here at the ballpark. So glad you could tune in on the USPBL network. We head to the ninth and what's been the best game of the year here at the USPBL. A little bit of everything. Home run, some base running, good pitching. Dearman and Carson Ferry throwing some gems here in the late innings.
Good pitching from our starters, too. For Brugge had his struggles, and so did Lokinen, but they had their share of good innings as well. Ferry's sticking out there, trying to get the 12-out save.
46 pitches out of the bullpen as he came in for Lokinen to begin the sixth. We knew he would try to go 3 as long as the pitch count was in order, but looking to go 4 complete here, and they do not have anyone warming up. So they have trust in Ferry to get out of this.
It shows you just how important that double play by Pup was to redeem himself after the error in that last inning. Had runners on the corners with 1 out. Looked like the Mammoths were going to be in position to tack on some insurance runs, and Ferry wasn't going to necessarily be able to finish the 8th, but 1 pitch, 2 outs. That's the result you want.
The 0-2. The nasty curveball, and then the straight 91-mile-an-hour fastball. And somehow Dwayne took that below the knees.
Tough pitch to take. Trying to expand the zone as a hitter defensively.
Another curve, ripped foul.
He was sitting. Fastball there, I think, was late on that curve.
And the stuff has been maintained through these 3 and a batter.
Hasn't really wavered at all.
Through the legs, look out. Luker didn't locate it right away, and reaching over at first is Dwayne. So technically the 4th K here today for Ferry, but he reaches on the drop third. Now Keyshawn Lynch to try to make him pay here. Been some costly errors again here today by the Diamond Hoppers. Otherwise, they probably have the lead in this game. Fastball inside as that one's foul. That's actually Hughes behind the plate now for the Hoppers. Luker was pinch hit for earlier there by Kreitzer. It was in the 7th. Top of the order on deck, that's Caruso. He's yet to have a hit today. Kind of surprising, given the way he started with the bat. In tight lead for Dwayne, the 0-1. Fastball fouled straight back. 90 miles an hour from number 6.
Is that the first one that we've seen at 90? I feel like they've all been 91 or more.
I think he's had maybe one at 89 or a few, but it's been few and far between, certainly.
Still was a tough one for Lynch to catch up to.
Now the 0-2. 91 inside, 1-2 on Keyshawn Lynch. Waiting in the 1-2 again. Line drive to left. Bayard back. Makes the catch. Are you kidding me, Bayard?
I've written down L7 a lot today in that scorebook, and Bayard only seems to get those line drives out there over the left, but he's judging those balls really well, and that was a mistake pitch from Ferry. You could see Hughes wanted it low in the zone with 2 strikes and a runner on, trying to get Lynch to ground into that double play, and he left it up there a little bit, and Lynch punished him for it, but Bayard was able to make the snag.
Here's the first pitch to Caruso. Fastball away. Well, command and control, something that Ferry worked very hard on in the offseason, something that was a little bit hit or miss last year. 33 walks to 38 strikeouts. 1-0, fly ball to right. Snyder back to the warning track. He'll make the catch for the second out. Certainly was a little bit of a problem in college as well. Through 140 innings, more walks than Ks, 212 walks, 206 strikeouts. But that surmounts to a strikeout ratio or strikeout rate of 13 per 9.
It's quite a lot. Even if you're walking more than that, that's still a good number to be at. And he's done well since he's been here with the walks, just one today.
First pitch to Tanner Thomas, shattered the bat. Our third today. Porter coming in. It's going to drop in no man's land. Have a chance to throw him out at third. Off the bag. The tag was really strong by Paz as he swooped it back. But ruled safe is Dwayne. And Thomas is aboard as his bat dies a hero.
Good base running by Dwayne with 2 outs. Was hustling as soon as that ball came off that broken bat. It's a tough play back there for both Pup and Porter. Pup's got to go back and kind of make a basket catch. Porter had a long way to go to get there. And that throw was really pretty good to Paz up there at third, just a little bit off to the right side of Porter.
I think that was the right call, looking back at the replay as well. Looked the same live as well. Good tag, good try though by Paz. Fastball at 89, in for strike 1. The Hoppers in the bottom of the 9th inning will have the middle of the order up, 4, 5, 6, and they've been productive today. Reached base 8 times between the 3 of them. Runner in motion to second. They don't even think about throwing down as Thomas takes second base. So second and third.
Yeah, it's just for the fact that if that throw goes down to second and is not perfect, Dwayne on third has a good chance to come home and get an insurance run for the Mammoths.
Now the 0-2. Had him golfing at it. Just staying alive on the curveball in at the hands.
Just protecting that strike zone. Anything that you think is going to be relatively close in this situation, you're going to have to swing at.
The 0-2. Got a piece of it, but foul.
Boy, that ball came off the bat looking like it was going to be a lot further than it was. Just died before the stands, before the umbrellas over there where the stands kind of jut in towards the foul line on right field. I thought that was going to be deep in the corner foul at first.
Try it again. Fastball elevated, and Bauer putting together a nice battle here.
Behind 0-2, got to just keep staying alive, and putting together that battle, like you said, is something that can really irritate and aggravate that pitcher out there. Ferry's in a tough jam, and when you keep fouling him off, it's just one more pitch he's got to throw.
High. Bauer taking all the way. The inning started with a strikeout, but dropped third strike, allowing Dwayne to finally reach third in the end. Thomas stands on second after the single, and then the run to second base, kind of defensive indifference territory there. Now the 1-2. Curveball, lollipopped foul. Derek, Charlie, John all chiming in, along with Rhodey on YouTube here today. Trish Verbrugge, James Hancock, Andrew Clark all checking in on Facebook. We thank you for watching here today. Now the 1-2. Pounded into left field, the base hits. Dwayne around, Thomas heading around. The throw comes all the way in, and no chance to tag Tanner. It's a 2-out, 2 RBI base hit by Trent Bauer, and a heck of an at-bat as well.
Exactly what I was going to say, Jeremy. He was behind 0-2 for 3 pitches in the at-bat. Saw 5, was able to foul off 3 in a row after he got behind 0-2. Took a ball, fouled another one for the 4th foul ball, kept it alive like we talked about. It just meant Ferry had to throw one more pitch, had to throw another one out there. And when you stay alive like that, sometimes the pitcher can leave a mistake. That one was a little bit too high, and Bauer was able to get under it and smack it into left.
First pitch to Greg Vaughn Jr., fastball at 89, swing and a miss. So 6-3 feels a lot different than 4-3. The question is, who will the Mammoths send out there to pitch? 0-1 high, 1-1 on Greg Vaughn Jr. now. And there is nobody warming up down there.
The one bright side for the Hoppers is that they've got the 4, 5, 6 hitters, so heart of the order coming up in the bottom of the 9th.
Now the 1-1. Tied him up. 1-2 on Vaughn. Dearman has thrown 73 here tonight, so it's looking like he might get another inning out there.
Usually the Mammoths closer this season has been pegged as Ledbetter, and he looked great in spring training this year.
Another strikeout here for Carson Ferry, his 5th here today. Ferry with a couple blemishes here in the 9th. A few base hits, scores 2 more. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Last ups for the Hoppers.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Colin Ledbetter takes over on the mound, his third appearance this year. Just 2 innings of work, 3 hits given up, an earned run. His last appearance, just a couple hits and 2 Ks. Looking to close out this game here today and take the baton from Christian Dearman, who did a really nice job.
Yeah, like we talked about right before the break, Ledbetter has been pegged as the closer this year. He got words of high praise from his pitching partner, Greg Lokinen, back in spring training. Looked like he had some nasty stuff in a few of the spring training games that we got to see from him. Should be exciting to see what he can do here in what's been a really good game so far. And who's to say that the Hoppers don't keep it closer and good here in the bottom of the 9th?
Been able to rally a bit more in the middle to late innings of this game. Came close again, first and third with 2 outs in the 7th before the Dearman K. Another base runner in the 8th off the air, but Dearman K 2 in a row. He had 7 strikeouts to finish his outing here tonight. 1-1, shuttered, foul. And the big thing that stuck out, obviously, for Dearman, and something that these USPBL hitters are going to have to get used to this year, he pitched ultra fast. I mean, probably the fastest guy I've ever seen.
Yeah, there were multiple hitters that were just not ready for that first pitch often, and a few others.
So that's an adjustment, and it's a twofold adjustment because of the pitch clock and just you don't see a lot of guys throw that fast. Now the 0-2. Couldn't check his swing as he went around for strike 3, the 3rd straight K, going back to the 8th inning for these Hoppers.
Well, exactly how you want to start the bottom of the 9th with a 3-run lead if you're Ledbetter. Striking out one of the best batters in this Hoppers lineup, too. Burke has struggled lately, but we know what he can do.
First pitch to Lawler outside. Fastball at 92. It's a power sinker to go along with a slider and a circle change for Ledbetter. Still kind of working on that changeup as well. Something he worked on quite a bit and kind of tinkered with the grip. Finally found that grip that he liked. Now the 2-1. Fastball that got away, 3-1 on Lawler. Again, we're on the air tomorrow at 12:45. Unicorns and Mammoths. The Mammoths will send Thacker to the mound to start for them. He looked good in his last appearance from what we heard. 3-1 is fouled off, 3-2. You know who else looked really good was Rafi Vasquez, who's converting back to pitching after primarily playing first base in his college career. Pitched at the start of his college career, kind of from high school to college, but not much since. And a close pitch, but a walk. As Lawler draws a base runner here with 1 out in the 9th. Vasquez was up to 91 the other day. They think there's a bit more in the arm of that righty as well.
Mitch Akers, a guy who grew up with Rafi Vasquez and had good things to say, and said that's my guy, and he's been working with him. And I spoke with Vasquez, and is a very nice young man, and seems like he's motivated and going to put in a lot of work to become a good pitcher this year. And he's got a good start so far. All the tools are there for him to kind of be dominant in this league, and I think the Mammoths have found maybe a diamond in the rough in Rafi Vasquez. Very excited to get the chance to see him tomorrow.
0-1 fouled off. And something that we heard kind of throughout spring training with Mitch, just kind of observing. You know, the coaches are right there next to us most of the time when they're instructing in spring. Pick it up after this to Bayard. Quickly 0-2. Oh, 92, see you later. Ticket to the dugout for Drew Bayard, the second K of the inning for Ledbetter. And now Griffin Schneider is the last shot here. They still have De Los Santos on the bench, and this is actually De Los Santos.
Another guy who we didn't expect to see today, but comes in a tough situation, trying to make the best out of it, kind of like Kreitzer did in the last inning. Sometimes it's nice to get those fresh legs and fresh eyes in there against a pitcher who only Ledbetter's this is his first inning, but still who's dominated the lineup so far.
De Los Santos 0 for 6 with a walk and 2 Ks to begin his second year in the USPBL. Showcase major power in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference at Indiana Tech. Now the 1-1, 92, he could not hold around or hold that up. Not easy to come off the bench and pinch hit in the ninth, but not easy to face 92 and one of the better arms as well. Off the end of the bat there.
Yeah, it's a tough ask for De Los Santos to come in here and try to keep this game alive, but true baseball players live up for this kind of moment. Pressure adds.
1-2, slider again that hung up, poked foul. Slider again, 81, and by him, Colin Ledbetter strikes out the side here in the ninth inning. Burke, Bayard, and De Los Santos all goes down. Another solid outing for Colin. Back with our player of the game after this here on the USPBL Network.
Woolly Mammoth, we on a roll. Woolly Mammoth, we're number one. We work hard, play harder. We get better every day. Woolly Mammoth came to play 'cause we're strong. We play smarter. Woolly Mammoth, gray and white. We're in charge to do it right. Get ready, get ready. Getting started, getting started. Teamwork makes the dream work. We're going for the win, that's how we work. Woolly Mammoth, we on a roll. Woolly Mammoth, we're number one. Woolly Mammoth, we on a roll. Woolly Mammoth, we're number one.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Want to hit your home cleanup project out of the park? Well, making sure that your driveway is safe from damage? Rent a rubber-wheeled trailer from GFL and keep all of your bases covered. Our trailers come in 20 and 30-yard sizes for all your cleanup needs. Call GFL today to order your driveway-safe rubber-wheeled trailer. Team GFL, helping you win your cleanup project.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
While credit cards help pay for everyday expenses, carrying a balance each month can be tough on your budget. Since interest rates compound daily, the amount you owe gets bigger and bigger each day the balance goes unpaid. A Green Path debt management program helps you regain control of your finances by lowering credit card interest rates, reducing your monthly payments, stopping late fees, improving overall financial health, paying off credit card debt in 5 years or less. Our caring, certified counselors work with you to understand your financial picture and support you on the steps to get control of high-interest debt and achieve financial health. Call 844-572-5921 and get control of high-interest credit card debt today.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Want to hit your home cleanup project out of the park? Well, making sure that your driveway is safe from damage? Rent a rubber-wheeled trailer from GFL and keep all of your bases covered. Our trailers come in 20 and 30-yard sizes for all your cleanup needs. Call GFL today to order your driveway-safe rubber-wheeled trailer. Team GFL, helping you win your cleanup project.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Come on and keep
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are operating engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
There's nothing better than a ball game at Jimmy John's Field and a cold beer from Midland Brewing Company. Hi, I'm Kyle, the head brewer at Midland Brewing Company, here to wish you a stellar time making memories at Jimmy John's Field. And we hope that you're living it up with a Copper Harbor Ale in your cup. You can find more of our selections here at the ballpark and around town at your favorite bottle shops too. We hope you have a ball at the game, and remember, enjoy responsibly. Let's play ball.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's, $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Times are tough right now. It feels like the bottom of the ninth and we're down by 2. But we've seen tough times before. And just like baseball has always been more than just a game, Chief Financial Credit Union is more than money. So it might be the bottom of the ninth, but we're the home team, and we've got runners on base. Batter up, America. It's time to play ball.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Dunham Sports Mammoths is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're